If you could share the room out, let everyone know that we're live. We're trying to reach as many people as possible tonight. And if you'd like to join me up here on stage, just tap on the mic in the bottom left. I'm going to wait for some of my co-hosts to arrive before we get rolling here. Give me a second. Matthew, what's going on?
Hey, great news. I just saw Alex share on Matic.
What did Alex share? What is he doing?
He's saying there might be a little something happening with Matic right now with Polygon.
Okay.
So I had successfully done I swapped through Polygon into CEL and successfully sent. I was kind of excited to share that tonight, but Alex beat me to it, which is awesome. But I do have a question.
Okay.
I kind of had to go around my elbow to get to my ear to do it. I've
never heard that one before.
Yeah. Can I send Matic from Celsius to a Matic address?
Not yet, no. This is incoming. The first, and again, this is a thank you. Shout out to Joshua, Josh, Scott, the whole CEL Team 6 here for making major moves on this very quickly. But this is just for incoming right now. And just to provide some color on the stuff that us as a team are able to do. We're kind of like a strike force, and we can do things that require a little less back end work. And so anything that comes to changing the app or updating policy, or not policies, but updating things in our system take a lot longer to build and have to go through a lot of security and a lot of other approvals. But accessibility things or policy things, that's what we're focusing these changes on to improve the utility value of CEL. And, this is one of those steps that we're able to take that provides a huge amount of accessibility to everybody.
So I'm going to share how I did it, and then I'm hoping you or someone else can share a much easier way to do it. So I bought Matic on an exchange, Gemini, sent it to KuCoin on ERC20, because it's an ERC20 token on Gemini. From KuCoin, I was able to then send it on the Matic network to my MetaMask. In MetaMask, I was able to swap it into CEL and then send CEL to Celsius.
Yeah, I'm hearing that actually there's a few providers. One of them is Ramp Network, that you can take fiat and put it as USDC or Polygon on the Polygon network. They charge a 3% fee, but you could do, I think, $10,000 or $20,000 per day as a viable fiat gateway directly onto Polygon. And then I'm also hearing, and haven't confirmed this, that Crypto.com will let you purchase coins on their website and then send them via the Polygon network. So we're going to need the creativity of the community to figure out the best way to do it. But what the team was able to do is accept these incoming transactions on Polygon and make it so much easier to do these smaller transactions.
I had bought some CEL on as an ERC20 on, like, I forget which swap it was, but paid through the nose, obviously, for ETH or gas fees. But this cost me pennies doing it on Polygon, all the way from buy to even doing what I did, going from Gemini to KuCoin to MetaMask swap, then into CEL on MetaMask, and then from MetaMask to CEL into Celsius.
Hey, Matthew.
Yeah.
So the challenge with like decentralized bridging, where you're starting on the Ethereum network, is that you're like generally having to pay the bridge fee in ETH to make your way over to the Polygon network. There are alternative L1s like Solana that have like simple bridges, simple decentralized bridges over to the Polygon network. Like for example, if you use All Bridge, you can bridge from Polygon to from Solana to Polygon, and generally like you can withdraw any asset you want from the FTX exchange onto the Solana network. So when I'm trying to get my way into play with funds in Polygon land, I use like I start on FTX, I withdraw USDC on from FTX into my Solana wallet, and then I use Saber to bridge my USDC, or rather to convert my USDC to like a Polygon version of wrapped USDC, and then All Bridge as the way to move it over to my Polygon wallet. So it's just something to keep in mind is that you can look at alternative L1s as a way to kind of route yourself around those crazy ETH L1 fees.
Well, any multiple ways to do it that are now going to cost people pennies to dollar as opposed to tens of dollars just to, or more, or hundreds of dollars just to do a swap. So awesome job.
I think the most exciting thing in my mind is that like accepting deposits is just step one in the like CelsiusX roadmap for cross-chain interoperability. So soon enough, like you should be able to just withdraw on the chain of your choice from the Celsius app. But until we get there, like I tend to prefer relatively decentralized bridges, like not using KuCoin as my main source of interoperability, but to each their own. So my like only advice is just looking at like alternative L1s as your way of being able to bridge onto Polygon.
Well, that's great. Well, awesome job, and it was awesome just to be able to fairly simply get some CEL and get it into Celsius.
Well, awesome. Thanks for coming up and sharing. Remember, guys, to share out the room, let everyone know that we're live. We're trying to reach as many people as possible tonight. And if you'd like to join us, just tap on the mic in the bottom left. Jason, I believe you're up next.
Hey, guys. So I had someone ask me to ask you a question. When Solana comes to the app, do you believe we will have a promo for it?
Have a what?
Promo.
Gotcha. Zach.
Yeah, usually we don't launch with a promo, or we haven't been recently. But I would just wait. I'm not sure exactly what marketing has in plan for that, but I would hang tight until we announce the launch of that asset, and then you'll know for sure.
Thank you. And that news that Alex tweeted out, amazing. I love it. And I can now have myself tokens moved over. That's great.
So did you already had some CEL on Polygon? Or tell us a little bit about your situation.
Well, I got into CEL token when it was at a high. So I had to find different ways of buying it so I wasn't getting eaten up by the gas fees.
Sure.
And I was using Dharma, as I was like others suggested to me. And since Dharma shut down, I moved all my my whole entire bag. I had more on the Polygon network than I did on the Ethereum network. And now they're all sitting nice and comfortably where they should be.
Nice. That's great.
That's kind of like generally, like I think the expectation of like Ethereum or like Ethereans is that like these roll-ups and these L2s will end up having more like retail volume on them, and then the base chain is like the Ethereum chain is kind of ends up being a chain of chains. So again, like part of the CelsiusX like initiative is to understand that might be a future that we can expect. So there, like for me, for example, like I was playing a lot around on the Solana network, and you have to then bridge back onto the ETH network if you want to move them anywhere else. It should just be like a one-stop shop where you choose the network of your choice, but the assets themselves, if they still represent the same underlying, you should be able to just deposit and withdraw it from your Celsius wallet in like a not too distant future.
Jason, did you have any further comments or questions?
No, that's all for now.
Awesome. Glad to hear you're excited about the tweet. Go ahead, Scott.
You like my new NFT?
Loving it, man. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you.
The other thing I want to add is for the people in the room that are wondering what the heck is this and how do I do it, you're going to start to see a lot more videos coming out actually from the community. I know several community members are in the process of making videos, so that way you'll get to see different options from different community members, and you can do the one that suits you the best, because there's lots of different ways to do this. So it's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a low cost way to for you to figure out yourself what the best way to do it is and what you're most comfortable with. So stay tuned for more information coming.
Thank you for that, Scott. Yeah, I think the Ramp network is super interesting. Luke, you're up next.
Good evening, guys. My question dealing with this, I'm assuming since we're on the Polygon network making this swap, that is the token that's used for the gas fees, right? So I haven't done the transaction yet. So if I happen to move Ethereum over to QuickSwap, so it's wrapped, it's on the Polygon network, I turn it into CEL, I'm not going to be able to withdraw it unless I have some Matic in my wallet, right? Because that's the gas to move it back to Celsius.
Yeah, that's correct. So like if you want to be able to in the same way that like in Ethereum land, like if you want to do any transactions, you need some ETH. Like Matic or Polygon is effectively the same thing in the Matic network, Polygon network. So yeah, generally you have to have that asset in your wallet. So what I do again is like I'll transfer Matic and like stable coins from the Solana network because it's generally cheaper onto the Matic network, do my trades and whatnot, and then bridge it over or send it over to my Celsius wallet. But there are other options like where it's just direct onto the Matic network. Like I think Josh mentioned Ramp. There used to be Dharma. I think they deprecated that. And then there should, I think that crypto.com has a native bridge onto the Polygon network. But I tend to have issues with their UI whenever I try it. But again, like to Scott's point, there are some existing guides out there for how to do it, and then there should be more like Celsius unique, Celsius specific ones that people will start sharing.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys. Awesome work.
Yep, thanks for joining us up on stage, Luke. Nutterbear, you're up next.
Hey, people. I would like to compliment the team on the CEL roadmap. Looks really exciting and definitely cool to see that you guys took the community serious and implemented everything in the roadmap. Is there anything more that you can talk about, like the roadmap, like the boost in kind?
Just as a note, like the screenshot that Alex tweeted was kind of like a feeler. We're gonna be like publishing like a like a official kind of announcement type thing soon, helping to like categorize the themes that we think about when we think about CEL token and its associated utility. And like to your other question of like the boost for earn in CEL on CEL, I think that maybe Zach, I don't know if you want to give too many details there, but we can say it's actively being built. And then another just theme of this team is that like historically, I think like a lot of announcements get pushed and then like the product doesn't make it, or an announcement is promised and then the announcement doesn't happen. Our like core most challenging or biggest initial challenge is to fix exactly that. So like like this Polygon thing, for example, we had it live a week before anything was actually made public into the world, and we hope to continue doing that with the rest of the initiatives. So just a theme for everyone else to keep in mind. But Zach, I don't know how much you want to comment on the other part.
Yeah, I'll just say that that's looking great, and we will make that official announcement when it's ready to deploy.
Cool. So the roadmap is a guideline. It's not like these incentives are already lined up and they will be implemented for sure, or are they?
I think the way to think about it is that there's a little bit of both. We'll publish a more like formal like article type thing in the coming week.
Yeah, okay, I'll wait for that. But nevertheless, it looks really good, and I think it's definitely the right way to do it as well. Just have it go live for a week, work things out for the team, and then make it public for the rest of the community.
Yeah, because the crypto industry overall is just such in a dynamic position, there's always going to be some changes that take place. So that's one thing that internally was really hard about doing a roadmap, is because we're not exactly sure what we can and can't do in the medium term, even because the dynamics of the regulatory system. So anytime like what Alex released and then what Wasima released as well, this is really like a philosophy or a direction. Some of the product ideas, these are things that we're working on and trying to make happen, but is never like a guarantee of what we can or we will do. It's really expressing our vision for what we'd like to do and kind of give the steps behind that and other details. So there's not a lot of clarity in the space, and we have to be very careful with CEL utility in the US and other things. So but at the same time, we really want to communicate the vision to the community and what we want to build and how we want to build it and how it will benefit the community. And that's really the main objective of this manifesto, if you will, is to communicate that vision in a very clear and detailed way.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Thank you for coming up, Notaber. And I'll just add, we have extreme conviction on the things that we are going to be able to do. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming. Hopefully we get that out within the week.
Hey, Josh, you sound like you're going underwater occasionally.
How do I sound now?
Good.
Better.
All right, cool. Tecmo, I believe you're up next. And share the room out, guys, please. Thank you.
It just sounds like your mic was moving around. That's all, but it sounds good now. Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Zach was saying about Ramp Network. I've seen that in action. That's one of the best ways I've seen. FTX is another option, and then Crypto.com. I just happen to have like some random leftover like remnants of my past Crow on Crypto.com. I just converted those to Matic, withdrew on the Polygon network, and sent it to my MetaMask wallet just to have for the gas fee. Because like if you have like one Matic, then you're good for like fees for like your life. So if you just get that on, then you're set because the fees are so minimal. Or yeah, you can go down the Solana route as well. But just shout out to Wasim and his crew. And I'm excited for the future. The bringing stuff over the Polygon network, got the eventual fiat on ramps, like CelsiusX as a whole. It's being able to swap. Like it's all coming together, and I'm just really excited.
Definitely, this is a big year for us. Do you have any other questions, comments while you're up here?
No, sir.
All right, thanks for joining us. Otis, what's going on?
Nothing much. I have a question for Wasim regarding CelsiusX. It might be a few, but I'll ask it the best way possible. What value does CEL token receive from CelsiusX? How is CelsiusX beneficial to CEL token? The last question is, when CelsiusX was being conceived, was there any thought of making CEL token at the heart of CelsiusX?
Otis, you always ask the right questions. Oftentimes that we can't give you the answers that you want to hear too, but I
don't remember. Did you join or did I join Celsius? I don't remember which one of us joined before, but
you beat me to
probably
it, dude.
joined around the same time.
I think you've been in it longer than me, but I think the way to think about CelsiusX is that so Celsius is one of the largest users of DeFi as an institution. CelsiusX is Celsius's first kind of like step into being an infrastructure provider in the true like DeFi ecosystem, and CelsiusX is an extension of Celsius. So you can imagine that all things that are Celsius make their way into influencing all things that are CelsiusX and vice versa. But keep an eye out for the like article thing that we'll be publishing, and then make sure you guys follow CelsiusX on Twitter, and we'll probably make some more stuff clear that way. But for now, I'm gonna slightly plead the fifth.
Is that because of competition reasons?
No,
You don't want to
not at all.
Regulatory reasons, or
it's largely because there's like internal definition going on still, so I don't want to talk on one direction and then it ends up coming out the other. Okay. But just your questions are right on theme with conversations that are already happening internally.
Okay, thanks.
For sure.
Thanks for coming up, Otis. Next up is Taylor.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I have a question about the referral program. So right now, how I do it when I refer someone is I get them to buy on Coinbase or whatever, and then the funds have to settle in their account for like 7 days, and then they can transfer the 400 or so to get the bonus over to Celsius, and that's like super hard for like me with a new person because I might just meet up an old friend or just some random person, and then they never follow through and transfer, or they transfer outside of the 30 days. Is there going to be a quick fix for this am I looking at it making it too difficult?
No, right now it is fairly hard to onboard like friends and family, but what's going to fix this is a native fiat gateway in Celsius, and that is something that's being actively built and shouldn't be too far out. But that will make you much easier to onboard with just Celsius, have them make have them buy stablecoin directly in the app, and then qualify for those referrals on the spot.
Okay, yeah, that would be awesome. That was my hope. It's just they could download the app, plug in their banking info or whatever to get the funds in there, and then get into Celsius and get like some kind of one-time. It doesn't have to be $50 or whatever it is, but just some one-time bonus to get them like just kind of in the door. And then like one more question real quick. Are you doing anything for top 500 holders? Are they just platinum too, or is there going to be a super platinum? Is there any talk on that? And I know like there's been some talk where like you might favor more like net worth individuals. I don't know how to say it super nicely, but like I'm top 500 or just squeaked in. and it took me a really long time actually. I worked at it really hard, but so I do see some people that might not be able to meet the token requirements. So maybe it could be a substantial amount of referrals or something. But it'd be cool if you differentiated those people.
Yeah, that kind of goes over this whole new look of what it means to be platinum in Celsius. I don't think it should just be a financial achievement. It should be something that you can do through community activism, referrals, marketing of different kinds, a percentage of your portfolio, and then as well as having a cap, a flat token cap. So, and then being able to reward people with that platinum status for, life or for periods of time. So we're creating a lot of flexibility in that. It's one of those things that does take some internal work. So I'm actively managing that project, but there's a lot of fun things that we can do with NFTs and badges to kind of give special recognition. I think everyone in the top 500 should be platinum, and I think the floor is like 68,000 tokens right now. So it's very significant. And doing some data research, there's only 1,000 people in Celsius that have over 1,000 or have over 25,000 CEL. So it's a very elite group. If you consider we have 510,000 active wallets, only 1,000 of them have over 25,000 CEL token. And we should really treat those people very, very special and give them some of the best services possible. While at the same time, and I see this discussion going on Twitter, we don't want to alienate new customers or non-CEL token holders. We still want to provide them good service, but we want to provide our token holders the best possible service. And that's what I'm seeing. I see some discussion about we should almost punish non-CEL token holders. And I don't think we should take that route at all. We should provide good service and attract these new people, because we still have 99 million people to go before we reach our first goal. And we have to attract them with really great service. But then our CEL token holders, who are very special in our community, they should get the best service possible, or a premium level of service in every product that we offer.
Okay, thanks. Real quick, if you can answer this one, it's a really, really quick one. Is there any way you guys, when someone onboards the Celsius, when you jump into Coinbase and you have those offers where you can learn about some kind of project and you get 1 or 2 tokens? I know that non-accredited can't technically purchase CEL in the US, but could you give them away for free? Are you looking into that at all? Or that way almost everyone would get 1 or 2 and they'd be a holder?
We used to do that in the very beginning of Celsius. I think the first 100,000 users got 1 CEL for free, but we had to stop because we cannot give unaccredited US users CEL token at all.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, that idea of education and rewards for educating, I think, is really cool. But it's nothing we can do with CEL token specifically because of the way that we treat it.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Also, Taylor, one thing I wanted to mention to you is one thing that I do when I'm onboarding new people is when you bring them through Coinbase, you had mentioned that they're using ACH and it's tying up their money for 7 days. And as a result of that, a lot of them don't go through with depositing their funds or transferring their funds into the Celsius app. So one thing that I do with the people who I onboard is I tell them, I say, look, to get you started, let's go ahead and use your debit card instead of ACH. And yes, there is a slightly higher fee, but the beauty in doing that is they can buy directly in Coinbase, use the debit card, and can send those assets directly to their Celsius app all in one fell swoop. That way they get it from Coinbase to the Celsius app, and they can start earning that, as Zach calls it, sweet yield right away. And that's the hook, because it also depends on how you position it. And you can position it in the way that, look, yes, you're going to pay a slightly higher fee, but that's going to pale in comparison, potentially, right, to the overall long-term benefits that you may see if you decide to come to the Celsius app. So I use that approach. It's worked very, very well for me, as long as you manage their expectations from the beginning and just tell them, look, this is just a way, start small, but this is a way just to show you how the process works, to show you how the app works, and to show you how Celsius generates yield and how we do this all for you. So I do that, and it's working very well. I prefer it over the 7-day hold, because people drop off, just like you said. So that's my advice.
Yeah, thank you. I had no idea the settlement time was quicker. I should have looked into that. But yeah, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming up, Taylor. Guys, if it's not too much to ask, please share out the room. Let everyone know that we're live. We're trying to max the room out tonight. Alex will be joining us closer to the top of the hour, and hopefully the fun will begin. But until then, feel free to take advantage of myself, Zach, Scott, and Wasim. Blaze, you're up next.
Thanks. Got on about 10 minutes ago, so I apologize if my question has already been asked. Just to start off with, just say I'm a huge fan of Celsius. I've been with them for at least over a year, and Celsius is a big part of my crypto portfolio. And at age 40, I was actually able to leave my 9-to-5 job and pursue other passions about 9 months ago. But
legend. You're a legend.
Thanks. So just a big shout out to Celsius. That's a huge part, and I just love getting educated about money management and things on the AMAs and everything, and just hanging out with other people of like-minded. But anyways, I got a couple of questions. I'm a Texas resident. One thing is, if I could get any guidance on the Austin, Texas meetup that's coming up next month is one thing. And another question is, I just randomly came across a few days ago where Texas is doing some kind of a hearing this month about Celsius Network. They mentioned cease and desist for Texas residents, but I'm sure it's just part of their research into just making sure that Celsius is good for Texas residents and safe. But I didn't know if anybody might have any information on what is going on with Texas State about that hearing.
Yeah, so the meetup has to do with the like South by Southwest that's going to be going on here, I think in March.
Mm-hmm.
So we just, anytime that there's an event that the team is at, we tend to also have our own event next to it, just because it's a good way to get people together. And then, yeah, Texas, like, for example, like we can't deposit stable coins here, and like our swaps for Texas users that have it already, or that will have it soon, doesn't support stablecoin pairs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's largely because like Texas has like one weird like banking requirement where like your stablecoins are treated as the effective equivalent of dollars. So it has to be like uh, uh, like engaged with by a bank. Also, Texas passed like last year now a bill called Bill 4484 or something like that, that basically says that like banks in Texas are the ones to offer like centralized crypto offerings. So there's a little bit of like some politicking, I think, happening in the state. But as with everywhere, we have Celsius has an incredibly massive compliance regulatory team, all actively, watching this landscape and making sure that we are operating compliantly and able to offer our services to users. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping everything goes well with that, and I was even hoping at that March event we can be celebrating that everything went well with the hearing and ended on a positive note. And I was hoping that nothing would be in danger with my current CEL token holdings with Celsius. And I do need to work on getting accredited very soon, and hopefully that might help with my account as well too, living in Texas. But so
awesome. Yeah, well, I mean, first off, congratulations, and then second, we'll all be watching actively together, and then just something fun, I guess, as like a fellow Texan, is just watching like how this state has started to approach like friendly regulation around like Bitcoin mining. And like there are like people running for office now that like part of their strategy seems to be like talking about the role that mining will play in the state. More miners keep coming online, so it's a really like, I think, interesting future for the state ahead of us. But largely like right now, I think there's a ton of like internal politicking from the banks that actually recognize like what is coming for them.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll keep an eye out, and thank you so much, everyone, and Zach and Alex and everybody else that's a vital part of the Celsius team. I'm a huge fan, and look forward to continuing to be a part of the family.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up and joining us, Blaze. BTC Clark, you're up next.
Hey guys, good evening. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, just a really, really quick question about the $100 per question for the YouTube AMA. Just wondering if they're still being worked through, or do I have to do anything?
No, we had to stop those back in August, so we haven't done any of those rewards since then.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, are you paying them out, the ones that you haven't yet? Because you paused it, and then I've got a question that hasn't been paid out yet.
That you asked before August?
Yeah. It was when you guys still did it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's getting done, but if you want to send me or DM me, or actually email me, and then a screenshot of your question, and then we'll take care of it.
Sweet. Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for everything, guys.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Clark. Next up is Buy Mask.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, I had a couple questions. I know Alex isn't on yet, but I was watching, Twitter feed, and Alex made a comment about Bitcoin. How his personal Bitcoin plus Celsius Bitcoin, is the most held by anyone. I just had a clarification on that. Was he referring to Bitcoin that's owned in the treasury of Celsius by means of the Celsius mining business?
No, I think that tweet got really mistaken, and no, Alex is not claiming that the community's Bitcoin is his Bitcoin, and everyone tried to take that in the worst possible way. What he was referring to is that the community has accumulated more Bitcoin in Celsius than any single other entity, right? I think the only ones that actually do hold more are Grayscale and someone else. There's one other thing, but as a community, he's talking about the amount of Bitcoin that we've been able to come together and the way that we can leverage that economic power into our benefit and not into the benefit of himself personally, right? Of course not.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked. Yeah, because that got misconstrued, at least by me. I'm sure a lot of other people too, but good to know the clarification there. I had a follow-up question I have two more questions. One is on the mining business. I know Alex has said that it's, a unicorn business, and there's thousands of miners that are active in, mining Bitcoin, but are there any other statistics or publicly available information or just references that he's made in the past that help us better approximate, the value or the production capability of the mining business?
I don't think on the production. I think we've made public our total investment, which was $400 or $500 million throughout last year. And then these machines are still being delivered and coming online, so it's an actively growing unit of the company. But again, these miners are just another way to generate yield so that we can pay that yield back to the community. And that's the entire point of the mining business, is to create a diversified part of the company that generates Bitcoin. Just like CelsiusX is another way to generate yield on DeFi, just like institutional lending, just like everything else. So it's really, this is the advantage of Celsius, is having these multiple income streams that protect us, because one business will do really well and then the other side won't, and having that ability to compensate through the changing market conditions gives us a huge amount of power and consistency over time.
Yeah, that's good. Another thing I had a different kind of direction, looking at the roadmap. I think Alex posted this, but just having to do with, new features launching, and a lot of this obviously is very exciting. But he had a tweet from maybe 3 days ago. I'm sure you know which one I'm referring to, which is talking about February through Q4. And there's this idea in March where CEL Burn total yield paid, which I believe that to be, just reading through the comments, that's basically going to be out of all yield that's paid, a percentage is going to be burned in CEL. Do we have more details on that? If that's going to remain 10%, how that's going to be activated?
Yeah, again, no details yet, but what I will say is that we are looking to change the burn in a way that will better reflect the overall growth of the community.
Got it. Okay, cool. I got one more if you got a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, so there was a Seeking Alpha article that was written that was really good, actually. Intelligent guy that I think works for the government. I don't know if he worked for Department of Labor and Statistics, but he was just a real Celsius bull, and loved his article because it's hard to come by good research, as Alex often says. And this guy was just so perfect, heavy breathing about positive reasons for supporting Celsius. And then he kind of got, I don't know, cold feet or something, because he's now updated his, note to say something like, I'm not sure anymore. And I don't know if it was just the pressure. I'm not going to claim to know what's in his mind. But my question is, has he ever joined to clarify or comment on some of his thoughts relative to Celsius? Because he was just so, big into it. Has there anything been discussed at the community? I don't always join these AMAs, but do you know any updates on that?
No, I haven't spoken to him. I don't know, Josh, if you've spoken to him either, but a lot of people equate the performance of the company to the value of the token. And in the past year and a half, that's really not been the case at all. They've been really, really separated. And we're looking to kind of change that so it works in a little better the community's interest. But the business model of Celsius hasn't changed a bit since we started, regardless of whether the token's at $8 or at 5 cents, right? We are getting our assets together, deploying them in the best interest of the community, paying the majority of all earnings to the community, and then building this economic mass and kind of social network, really, in order to push ourselves and the crypto industry forward. And none of that has changed in the 4.5 years of the company. But, as prices go up and down, people feel a certain way, and it is tough. Like, I get it. There can be a lot of pressure in a lot of different ways, but, nothing with Celsius has changed. We're just trying to improve, the CEL team specifically is trying to improve the token utility model to really create more value there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got more questions, but I'll wait and see. But thank you so much for taking the time.
If you want, I can just quickly mention something here. Just because I won't say what Derek said to me specifically, but I did have a talk with him, and I think that's the guy referring to that wrote the Seeking Alpha article. Yeah, he just essentially reversed course on his opinion just regarding Celsius. And like his specific views, I don't agree with personally, but he just had some concerns with the company and with Alex specifically. But I think he might be reading into things a little bit kind of too much. But yeah, I don't want to say anything more than that. But I did have a talk with him, and he just essentially reversed course on his opinions with Celsius.
Plan C. This is Jason. I actually had an extensive conversation with him as well. And I'll just say he reversed course on all of crypto. He now thinks that all of crypto, including Bitcoin, is a scam. So that was a pretty convoluted, I guess, area of discussion. It was very interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah, we shouldn't say too much about what our private conversations were, but yeah, that is a good point. It wasn't just about Celsius, it was kind of regarding crypto as a whole. But yeah, we should let him speak for himself.
Yeah, it's good to get your guys' opinion, and I understand, protect those private conversations. But I noticed that I don't know if that was, I think that was Zach that was commenting that it probably had to do, at least I inferred that the CEL token performance was a lot of pressure, during that period of time, perhaps from that writer's viewpoint. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to buy more CEL while it's down, and I'm fine with that. And I think it's also kind of, let's say, ironic that Derek's article, and I think he's a very intelligent person. I'm not trying to disparage the guy, but it's ironic that, in his comments, he was just talking about the delay in shipping a lot of things relative to, Celsius's roadmap. But what's kind of ironic about it is he started posting that at a point in time where all these new things are shipping almost weekly. So I think that's got to be kind of put in the mix too, as far as balance in his perspective.
Yep. Well, everyone has emotions, and sometimes their emotions get the best of them, man. So, but thanks for coming up. I know you said you had more questions. Feel free to jump back in the chain and come back up. But for now, Jay Gels, you're up next.
Awesome. Thanks for having me up, guys. Just a few questions. I'm hoping most of them will be quick. One, where's REVO at? Any update?
No update on REVO.
Cool. That's one. Two, hold on one second right here. Yeah, a while back, there was talk about, a new unicorn, and we know it's the Bitcoin mining industry. It seemed like there was going to be a specific announcement around that, or a press release or something. Is there any kind of update there?
No, but there is expected to be a specific release around that. Just don't have a time of when.
Cool. Thanks for that. In association with CelsiusX launching this month, I'm just curious because obviously Celsius has given the intention to launch CelsiusX across 16 plus blockchains in the future, whatever. How often do you guys anticipate, and you don't have to give any dates or anything like that, but anticipate launching new blockchains, new partnerships? Is this going to be something that we're going to be seeing, like once a month, once every couple months? What do you see that looking like, I guess, by the end of the year?
Follow CelsiusX on Twitter and keep an eye out there. I think that, like I had said this earlier, Celsius is one of, if not the largest user of DeFi, like all services. And CelsiusX is our first step into being an infrastructure provider in that ecosystem. So, we already have quite a head start, just considering the expertise that the company's built, the relationships that the company's built, and so on. So keep an eye out on their Twitter. More and more fun stuff will be announced there, but I don't like timing, monthly articles, all that kind of stuff. I think I'll avoid from talking on, because again, like the part of the something I have seen as a challenge is like announcements before releases, and CelsiusX is like subscribing to the same philosophy we're trying to subscribe to with the Celsius team, or with the CEL team, in launching and then letting people find out and then announcing. So yeah, keep an eye out there if you want like indicative kind of like direction of when something is gonna drop, and then they'll also post like Medium articles and all that kind of stuff for what is going live. But something nice to keep in mind is that DeFi tends to move a lot quicker than CeFi.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Wasim. Always love hearing you speak. So thank you for jumping in here and helping to enlighten us. I've just got one more small question. Obviously, the regulatory and legal side of things has been I'll use the term a huge drag. I mean, we're still waiting on the fiat ramps. I know we're just waiting for some specific things with regulations and the CEL token not being available to non-accredited US. And the amount of legal stuff that you guys have had to put resources to navigate has seemed psychotic from the outside. And it doesn't really seem to be in our, the regulations, not what you guys are doing, but the regulations themselves don't really appear to be much in our best interest. I'm just curious, and I know you're not going to be able to give specifics, but what percentage of Celsius's resources would you say are devoted to navigating the regulatory and legal environments that's, obviously pulling revenues and profits and resources away from everything else that Celsius could be doing? I'm just wondering how much of a drag that's being.
We're a 750 something person team at this point, and I can tell you a lot of those hires were not developers. So yeah, it is tough, it is rough, but like it's a financial services. You got to go through like the right way. You got to talk to the right people. You got to make sure you're doing it correctly. You could do this like DeFi path where you just move quick, break shit, like stay anonymous, and hope no one ever doxes you. But Celsius is not that, right? We're a retail focused, like regulated provider of access to this ecosystem. So it's not a drag at all because it's like a moat. Like if you navigate it correctly, you end up being one of the like permitted providers. It's just as much of an innovation as being able to build something and get it out to your users. It's just like not what I like to do and not the conversations that I like to have. And I feel like probably a lot of us here, but it's just as necessary as hiring a million developers to like build something out, right? I think that we just got to like shift the way that we view things. It is as much innovation as any other part of the business.
I think that was very well stated. Thank you. I think that covers my questions.
Coming up, Jay Gels. Reagan, you're up next.
Hey, Josh. Two questions. I'll ask one at a time for Zach. I'll reword the question I ask each week. Who should I reach out to find out specifics regarding international swaps and what might be holding them up in a certain country? Is there anyone in particular that I can reach out to?
No, there's really nothing to my knowledge that you can do. It's all, again, part of our regulatory and planned rollout. So I understand there's a ton of excitement on users that want to get swaps in all different parts of the world. But from the user side, besides making sure your KYC is up to date, there's really nothing that you can do at this time. And you just have to trust that we're working on this. And again, we want to bring everyone the swaps that we can, but we have to work within the limitations that we have.
I will add though, there's a guy on Twitter. His name is web3wolf.eth. His real world name is Matt. He is the guy leading the course with the swaps feature. And he always tells people to annoy me, so I'm going to do the same. And if you have, just go tweet at him. Like he'll give you some maybe more deep clarity on things that are going on, considering he's like directly involved with the day to day on that. So it's web3wolf.eth.
Yeah, cool. That's that Matt Martin. Yeah, I've got him. Awesome. No, that's cool. Thank you. The other one was a bit of a sweeping question, but what needs to happen for the average Joe Blow American that's not accredited to be able to buy CEL token in app? Like just a sweeping thing, kind of what needs to happen in future for that to be a reality?
We would have to have massive regulatory change, specifically of the 1933 Securities Act.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Reagan. Guys, we're almost about to break through 300. If you're new in the room, please share the room out. Let everyone know that we're live. And if you want to join us up here on stage, just click on the mic in the bottom left. Biomass, did you have another question?
A couple things. I'm curious. I know Alex had mentioned that, in one of the AMAs, how crypto.com, didn't do the overall, regulatory landscape a solid with how it's choosing to operate, putting advertisements in areas where, you need to have a certain permission or regulation is in effect. But, crypto.com continues to grow. I've kind of tried to look at it just from the perspective of how big it is relative to Celsius, but I'm not able to find too much. I mean, obviously I can look at the coin market cap for their token, but I'm curious, do we know how big crypto.com is relative to Celsius as far as users or assets, or both?
I would like to ask them, like, how much crypto do they have? How many customers do they have? Why aren't they being transparent about that?
Maybe you should ask, what's his name? The
Matt Damon?
Jason Bourne, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Damon. Maybe Matt Damon would know. I think that's, again, why is that information not available when it's very important? And then, I think that I'm pretty sure they have a lot of customers, probably millions of customers, but we have no idea how much crypto they have or what they plan to do with it, or their revenues, or how much yield they've paid. When you start looking at other companies besides Celsius, you realize how closed off they are. Or, like, another funny experience on Twitter is we get hypercritical questions about, like, what happens if everyone withdraws at one time, or where does the money with my loan go? Where does this happen? Really kind of super critical, important questions, but I'm curious if they ask those questions to their financial institution that they keep their money with, their brokerage account that they trust their retirement with, and their pension fund that's holding their money. But for some reason, that people are ultra critical about it with us, and in comparison, we make the traditional financial industry look like they have all the secrets in the world.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, it's good. It's good, all the things with Celsius. The reason I ask about crypto is kind of leads into my next crypto.com leads into my next thought is, I spend time trying to think about, and I think we all do, because we talk about as a community the tokenomics of the CEL token and try to tie it to, different components. I'm sure some that have kind of modeled it know, as far as the assets and the yield and how much is being purchased in the market. And I'm just curious, is that a component of these, AMA discussions, like anybody in the community talking about kind of how they're valuing the token based upon, the purchases and the activity and the growth? Because, just looking at my analysis, very conservatively, I'm thinking the present, size of the Celsius network would kind of demonstrate a value of a token, maybe $11 to $17, just based on doing, certain math relative to the, to the buybacks and that sort of thing. But is that something anybody can comment on as far as how they're approaching the valuation?
Yeah, I don't think the value of their token has anything to do with, like, their performance as a business. I think it's a lot of hype. And you see, like, I think crypto.com just reached under $1 when they had news announcements about their stadium, and then it got decimated in the crash, just like everything else. So, I think there's a huge difference between creating hype value and creating fundamental long-term value, which, is tough in this space, but Celsius is more a fundamental play than
started by thinking about crypto.com as a way to put Celsius's valuation into kind of a relative perspective. And then my most recent comment about doing math about the buybacks and that sort of thing has to do with the CEL token. And my point was that, has anybody done analysis based on, the open book kind of metrics that Celsius has? Because I have done that math, and I think that, $11 to $17 would appear to be a fair valuation for the token based on, like, conservative growth and maybe a 20 times multiple for the
I would take earlier last year, Trillions had a great set of videos on this data, and we actually love when community takes these metrics that we put out and try to quantify value or growth or whatever in different ways. And it's just very difficult to do. But Trillions did a lot of that data. Plan C did a lot of that data. Joshua T did a lot of that data early last year, and it would be great for new people to revisit that information.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks again for your questions, by Mask. Tabi, you're up next.
Hello, hi. Thanks, guys. So I've been using the swap function for some time now. I'm just wondering, is there a plan to add a swap between different stable coins, like say between USDC and USDT? Or
Are you trying to arbitrage between stable coins and make free money?
No. That's not the plan.
I'm giving you a hard time. I think eventually we will. Again, this swaps is still in beta rollout and not a final product by any means. So there's a lot to do on all these products that we're bringing out. So absolutely, we plan on having every pair available at some point in time. It's just nothing that can be done while rolling it out to hundreds of thousands of people, while increasing limits and and all this stuff going on.
Got it. Because the problem I'm facing, I have a lot of GUSD, Gemini USD, and I want to buy, sell, and BTC, but I'm not able to, right? So I'm just wondering, is there any alternative I can choose?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry. So more stable coins will come kind of like online with the swaps feature, just as a matter of like priority that largely like Matt and team will see with regards to demand. But if you have like a bunch of one stable coin, you want to move it into another and not get murdered by slippage. I think 1inch does a pretty good job, and also Curve does a pretty good job in true DeFi land. To make those swaps, you just have to be able to stomach the ETH fee. But then if you pop it back into the app as USDC, you'll be able to do your swaps as you see fit.
Sure. Thanks, Wasim. Okay, I will give it a try on that. Yeah. I have another question, and it's for Wasim. What's a plan for the CEL Visa card launch? Is it still on track?
Definitely not on track, because if it was on track, it would have launched last week.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's a payments team at Celsius actively working to navigate all the necessary onboarding for something that is like a truly regulated financial product and make sure it relates properly with crypto. So there's a team working on that. The product is like largely designed, but the development has been kind of like hurt, I guess, or slowed down by a whole bunch of like onboarding requirements, considering you're partnering with a bank to make your way through that process.
Right. Is there a timeline?
I'm going to subscribe to the same philosophy as before. Once there's like an official announcement, that's when like I think we'll like talk about timelines externally. But for now, I think like the best that I can do is tell you that there's a team working on it. There's me like begging for the life of me to have this product available, so I don't have to keep moving funds around like just to pay off my credit card bill. But it's happening. I just can't give you a timeline because I don't want it to lead to potential disappointment.
All right. Okay. Thanks. That's pretty much from my side. Thank you very much.
One thing I want to jump in real quick is we talked about swaps earlier. I want to encourage everyone who does have access to swaps to go ahead and try it. Go ahead, try it out. Swap into a different asset just to try it, see how it works, kick the tires a little bit, because not everyone who has access is trying it. So I just want to encourage those who do have it and have not yet tried it to go ahead and try it out.
Thank you for that, Scott. And Tabby, thank you for coming up. Beery X, you're up next.
Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing great tonight. Yeah, I had a question with regards to news of SEX listing of a centralized exchange listing for the CEL token. I think I heard that a couple of days, and I wanted to see if you guys have any info on that.
Nope, no news on that yet, but stay tuned.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Beery X. Joey, you're up next.
Can you guys hear me? I'm going to go somewhere quiet. Hello, hello?
Yeah,
We can hear you.
Okay, how's it going? So, couple questions. The Luna that's coming to the platform, is it going to be real Luna or is it going to be ERC20 based?
Yeah, I think that the challenge for like the slowdown for why we haven't like added Luna to the app is because we want to support the actual Luna chain. You know, same thing happened with Solana and Avalanche. And the cool thing is once we can support the base chain, then whatever their equivalent of like ERC20s are, we can start to layer on access for. So I believe that it's the Luna on the Luna network.
Okay, yeah, because I saw Alex tweeted about it, and that leads into my next question. What changed? Because I believe I was on here a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about Do Kwon and how he like violently opposes the SEC, and also I heard that Coinbase doesn't have real Luna because they're not allowed or something, so they just use like the wrapped version. So I'm just curious, like, what changed to allow real Luna? I mean, if something did change, it makes me feel better about the environment. Like, oh, something must have changed regulatory wise because Celsius is really,
There's ultimately no difference between like the two assets if they're just on different chains. Like they represent the same thing. Do Kwon and friends like at mainnet, like the SEC like showed up and served them a nice piece of paper like in the middle of the conference, so they have good reason to be kind of like pissed off. And the mirror product is like kind of wonky because it's totally like a form of a security. Like it's literally meant to mirror things that are going on with like a highly regulated space. But just yeah, the chain is not the thing that matters the most. It's the way that the environment recognizes or looks at the role of the asset. Whatever chain it settles on is almost like insignificant. But yeah, like that community has been like growing like crazy. I know so many developers that are moving into that ecosystem, so many projects coming online, which is really cool because again, you got more
Did you hear
people
about
building in the space.
the sports team? They're doing a deal with some sports team. It's like one of the major NHL, NBA. Like, it's a huge thing, and I guess the DAO has to vote on it. But if it happens, like, it'll just create insane demand for UST, and we know that makes Luna blow up. But I don't want to get off here before I ask this. Oh, what was I going to say? Well, while I think about what it was, I'm letting you guys know, like, right now. Oh, I remembered. But, like, I want to transfer more stuff into my account. I just got accredited, but I don't want to lose my status. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
no,
that has to be, like, there has to be a way around that because that's just, like, a huge hindrance.
That's exactly why I'm so passionate about having that 25,000K cap, so that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and prevent users like yourself from bringing in assets because you don't want to lose your platinum status.
Is it tokens? 25K tokens and you're set?
Correct.
Okay,
so,
and then go ahead.
Yeah, but like you're a perfect example of what burns my bum. We're shooting ourselves in the foot with simple stuff like this, and you're not the only one. There's hundreds of users just like you that are in the same position.
Yeah, and just to go based off the gentleman that was on just before you speaking, the more that I think about crypto and the more I think about how we can just go around Washington Mutual, and I think about the future, and I think about all the things that it opens up, and I think about how it completely undermines securities law. It's like I feel like this is inevitable, and there's going to be like massive resistance and change, and I'm really excited for the future and how things pan out, because it's like, how do you stop? Like, I think about Bitcoin when it was like $100, right? It was $100, and somehow it got to where it is now. It could have been stopped a million times. There could have been so many things along the way, but it got here because I believe it's an undeniable technology. And I think about all the things that I can go right now on the Astroport and swap some UST into a synthetic Tesla stock if I want. You know what I mean? It is so. It's just nuts to me. It blows my mind. I'm excited for the future. I like what you guys are doing. I like that you guys are really trying to like make this. You guys have a chance to be like in the front. Like, you're a front running, like, when all the masses come in. I just got my fiance's girlfriend to call you guys, or my fiance's sister, sorry, to call you guys. Because she was like, I was like, hey, use my code. I was like, I know you're holding a bunch of, Bitcoin, like you should move it to Celsius, you'll earn some yield. And she had questions. And then I was like, text me when you're done. She called you guys helped her, and she's good to go. And it's like, you can't do that anywhere. You literally can't do that anywhere. So, I mean, obviously I'm taking a lot of time. I'm getting fired up. But
No, Joey, you
yeah,
get
go
it.
ahead.
You get it, right? And we need the enthusiasm that you have, and we need to scream this stuff so that everyone else in crypto and everyone else in traditional finance understands the level of service, the level of product, and the level of transparency that we have here, right? There is nobody that's even close to what we have to offer.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I just think it's great. And whoever was on earlier, talking about, like, is the CEL token a representation of the company's worth? You gotta understand that, like, a lot of these other tokens, like, for example, Chronos Chain, which is crypto.com, there's like heavy incentives to like do things with it in DeFi, but it's like temporary. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna pay you basically to come, try our thing out, and then it kind of burns out.
We
And
call it mercenary capital.
yeah, I mean, there's people that they don't care about anything. They're just like, who's paying me to use their stuff? And then they leave like right when it's done. So what I really like about Celsius, and then I'll get off. I know I'm taking a lot of time. What I really like about Celsius is, like, yes, I have a hardware wallet, but when I have something pristine like Bitcoin, or I really don't want to dilute my Ethereum, I can just move it to Celsius, and I can feel safe that, like, the heavy hitters, the ones that I think are going to be here in 10 years, they're going to be safe. I can earn yield on it, and I can just check on it, and I don't need to worry about it. If something comes up, I can borrow money. It's a very quick, easy process, and it's like, it's literally like Aave, but I can call somebody on the phone and like they can like help me. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, I just want to say that I know I use up a lot of time, but I hope swaps come everywhere soon. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up, Joey.
Yeah.
Love to hear the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Appreciate the feedback. Alex, welcome in.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Do you want to speak on your tweet that you put out earlier tonight?
Yeah, you think people figured it out? Is it? I didn't even check if it's well, let me take a look. See what people are saying.
Yeah, I think they're figuring it out.
Yeah. All right, one by one.
Awesome. So, how's your night going?
All good. Long day today, but here we are. So, so we said we're going to talk about what it all means. So I see you guys already going at it. So a lot of questions about L2, I guess.
Yeah, lots of people talking about L2s, people trying to navigate how to get on chain with Polygon. Lots of talk about CelsiusX, and then also it seems like people appreciate us launching a week before telling anyone about it. So I think we gotta maintain that
Yep.
philosophy.
Yeah, well, we invite everybody to test it out, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. I just posted actually the 6 coins that are supported. No, on L2.
We do also have our friend in here, QuickSwap, with us. QuickSwap, if you're able to unmute, can you introduce yourself and then let us know how things have been going since we were able to open this up to you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we've been working, I don't know, a month or two now. It's super exciting what you guys are doing. I just looked at Alex's tweet, hoping QuickSwap can be the 7th supported coin for layer 2, the Quick token.
Wait, give us some background on like what is QuickSwap for those that like haven't taken a look or whatever. Just give a quick spiel on what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure. So I hope everyone's familiar with things like Uniswap, where it's an exchange without an order book. You can swap between really any assets. QuickSwap, to put it like super basic terms, we are essentially like the Uniswap of Polygon. I think we're at about 600 million TVL, total value locked, something like between 50 million and 100 million volume per day. The largest DEX on Polygon, even larger than the Sushi Swap on Polygon. Yeah, we have some cool products where you can single stake Quick, which is our native token, and either earn Quick rewards or earn rewards for some partnering tokens. Yeah, that's QuickSwap in a nutshell.
And then we had a bunch of questions coming in about like the best ways to get onto the Polygon network. I was mentioning Allbridge and the Solana route, but considering y'all are building infrastructure in this space, like where do you see most people coming in from? Like what bridges are they using, or how are they getting their Polygon onto the Matic network? What do you guys see on the day-to-day ground?
Yeah, there's really 2 right now, the biggest ways. There's a lot coming from Ethereum through the Polygon bridge. It's a very simple to bridge ETH or a multitude of ERC20 tokens from Ethereum mainnet to Polygon mainnet. But recently, in the past few months, we've had a lot of centralized exchanges onboard layer 2 deposits and withdrawals. So like Binance is a very popular one. You can withdraw Matic directly from Binance onto Polygon chain, and then instantly use that on QuickSwap. And another thing about QuickSwap that I'll share that's kind of the most important thing, I'm sure everyone's aware about the Ethereum gas fees. It's, I don't know, $30 to $100 for a swap. On QuickSwap, it's a penny, something like that, and the transaction time is like 10 seconds. So that's really kind of what sets us apart.
And I wanted to ask about using CEL as collateral, and possibly what we could use to deploy CEL token on QuickSwap. I've heard some things, but wondering if you could talk anything about that.
Yeah, for sure. CEL token's actually on QuickSwap with some decent liquidity right now. If you go on QuickSwap, you can buy CEL. And of course, working together later, we're planning to possibly add some rewards to CEL liquidity. So that's even more reason for people to buy and trade CEL on QuickSwap. But yeah, I think the liquidity pool right now, I don't know when the last time I checked, but it was like $100,000 in there. So you can comfortably trade, a few $1,000s of CEL.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
QuickSwap, Wasim, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah. Just to tack onto that, like the coolest thing I think that I watched, like with the Ethereum community starting to like build out products and watching like Solana do the same. And there's someone in here earlier talking about the Luna environment. I was like, each of these chains end up building like really cool DeFi like financial products that uh, all provide value in one way or another. Or like you can mercenary capital them to mine them for whatever incentives they're sharing out there. But things like QuickSwap are like really user friendly ways to swap around like you would do on that you would do on Uniswap, but no more like $500 fees that you'd have to pay. Seeing like CEL tokens starting to become more compatible in the in the Polygon ecosystem also might lead to things like on sushi in the main Ethereum land, like you can like take loans out against it. You can do all kinds of like financial actions on DeFi that maybe you don't have direct access to in CeFi. So just watching how that ecosystem continues to grow is going to be super, super exciting. And it's cool to have teams like QuickSwap. I think we have a partnership with QiDao coming up soon. All building infrastructure on the Matic network, and I think that's only going to continue to grow.
Yeah, definitely. That's why QuickSwap. I mean, we chose Polygon because it's just in terms of like user experience compared to Ethereum. It's essentially like when you open your MetaMask wallet and go on QuickSwap, it's the same Ethereum experience. Even OpenSea has native Polygon support for NFTs. So NFTs are blowing up now, but it's the same $100 gas fee if you want to buy or sell NFTs on Ethereum. You have the same user experience on Polygon with pennies of fees, and I think currently it's just like a education problem. People aren't aware of how like easy it is to launch NFTs on Polygon and cheap, but people will realize one day. It just takes one thing. We'll see it. So yeah, really exciting.
Hey,
for the people who are struggling with how to switch to Polygon or how to switch from mainnet or Ethereum to Polygon, Aaron Bennett right here did a great video. It walks you through it step by step. So go to his channel. There's a great video that he created to showing you how to buy assets on L2.
Awesome. Yeah, another thing with that, if someone's never used Polygon before, you just download MetaMask, and if you go right to QuickSwap, there's a button at the top right that says switch to Polygon. If you click that, it will automatically add Polygon network to your MetaMask. So you don't have to go into like the RPC settings and change everything. QuickSwap will do it for you. And then from that, you just need to load your wallet with Matic, and you're good to go.
Well, thank you for joining us up here on stage, QuickSwap. Appreciate you taking the time. For those of you that aren't familiar with QuickSwap, make sure you go and do your research on it. The CEL token is now available over there, and the transactions are pretty sweet. It's easy to use. And Alex, are you ready to start taking some questions?
Only on layer 2. I'm not paying more than a penny for anything anymore.
Sure.
There we go.
We'll keep the gas low. CEL Cat, you're up next. What's going on?
Oh, I heard what. Can you guys? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I heard what Zach said earlier. Just for a second, you said something about badges. I love game theory. That I was just wondering if you could expand on that.
Yeah. So initiative that we're working on. Josh and Wasim have a ton of experience in NFT world, and we're looking to add some other benefits to CEL token holders for not only just holding CEL, but being active in the community, completing different challenges, collecting different things. Again, gamifying and having more fun and interaction in the community using these NFT badges. So looking into that, and we'll have an announcement when we're closer to launch something.
That's awesome to hear. That's super cool because I was hoping to see some kind of cool game theory like that coming. So yeah, that's awesome. Good
Hey,
stuff.
CELCat, are you one of the guys behind the Celsius NFT project?
Yeah, that's me.
Do you wanna talk on that? Because I guess you were one of the first Celsius touches Polygon. Even it was a community initiative, but maybe just talk about that, like what you've seen, like what that's been like getting people to move their way over to Polygon.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting. So I think one of the things what's kind of I think the only challenge right now is not every wallet supports it perfectly. So I think, it would be beautiful to see something like Celsius supported in the future because even on MetaMask, it doesn't show up. So you got to have it connected to your OpenSea. So I think that was the only real, well, that was one of the challenges was kind of explaining that to people and trying to break it down simply so that they could understand where they can see their NFTs. So that'll be really great if Celsius can do something like that in the future. And then, just the other part of it was, um, I think it really highlights how important QuickSwap is. I've been using these guys literally the entire time in order to move any kind of my any of the things that we've earned. We move it over to QuickSwap and we swap it over, and it makes the whole process just super easy. So now that we've got that, access to QuickSwap with Celsius, that's another great thing because those were the two things that we were really hurting with in the beginning. Because originally I didn't have an automated process, I had to go figure that out. So it was just me and Shillionaire, and we were cranking out NFTs night and day. I was posting them manually by hand. It was crazy. It was like hundreds of these things, manually posting them. Didn't even stop. It was like I was hardly sleeping. But that's why we had to take some time off, and then the markets kind of went down. So we are still in the game. We're doing a giveaway right now too, so check that out. So yeah.
Do you have any other questions, comments up here on stage, Hellcat?
Oh, I think I was just wondering about I'm glad to hear that there's game theory coming to the app, and that's amazing. So, and it's cool to see that we're doing stuff with QuickSwap. I love your guys' product. Use it all the time, so that's sick.
Thanks for being a user.
Hey, Josh, you're underwater again.
Breaking up, Josh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. If you guys are just joining us, make sure you share out the room, let everyone know that we're live, and we're going to roll into full Q&A here. If you have any questions about QuickSwap, we got them in the room here for a little bit, so feel free to take advantage of that. Jacob, you're up next. Jacob, if you're...
Hello? Yeah, got it. Sorry. I was over on QuickSwap checking it out. Hey, thanks for doing this, you guys. AMA special truly sets you guys apart from the competition. I really feel that way. This is a unbelievable amount of information I'm getting from this every week. So thank you for that. Question: what happens to your CEL functionality if your accreditation expires?
What happens to your CEL functionality? We would have to probably pause those accredited features until we get it back up to date. But right now, if you get accredited within our system, it's good for 12 months. And then you re-update that at those periods. And then if you weren't to re-update it, we would have to apply those restrictions back on.
And then we all collectively pray to the DeFi gods to bring the bull market back, so you become accredited again.
Yeah, if the market goes up enough, everybody gets accredited, right? That's the secret.
Yeah, I guess it's just that timing, and also, just another thing to keep track of. I'm sure you guys will be sending out some sort of notifications that it needs to be renewed. But it's just another thing to think about, I guess.
Yeah, we do put out that notification, I think 2 months in advance, and then keep reminding you because we don't want you to lose that status within the app. So, yeah, it is one more thing that you do have to keep an eye on, but we're here to help you with that.
So if the accreditation does expire, though, you would lose the function to be able to sell the CEL or swap the CEL. Is that correct?
Yeah, so because we can't offer certain services to unaccredited users. So if your accreditation lapse in our system, then we have to limit those features to remain compliant. But again, we can do a lot to just prevent that and keep it going.
But just to be clear, the regulation isn't just against buying CEL, but it's also against selling CEL. So is that correct?
It's not about selling CEL, it's about earning it. You have to be an accredited user to earn CEL on other assets or to swap into CEL. And if your accreditation lapse, again, no one's accreditation has lapsed yet because it's brand new. But yeah, we would have to restrict some of those features. I don't know exactly which ones, and I'm not saying you can't withdraw your CEL token and sell it somewhere else, but Celsius would have to limit those features inside the application because of the rules and regulations. But you don't have to be accredited to sell your CEL token. Anybody could do that on a DeFi protocol, for example.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up, Jacob. Fuller, you're up next.
Hey, guys. I got kind of a unique question. I don't know if it's been asked, but Celsius is obviously against advertising and things like that, which I'm cool with. More money for us. But would Celsius be open to like users if they wanted to pay for billboards or anything like that? Like, I don't know what the legalities behind that are. I'm just kind of thinking outside of the box. Is like if a user wanted to pay for a billboard and maybe have like a unique like Celsius.network/this that gets approved through Celsius marketing, is that a possibility?
You know, we have some of these situations online with websites, and there are some rules around it. So I would say, Scott, it's probably best to reach out to Scott before you do something like that, so it doesn't bump into our like imitation and other concerns like that.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah, I was meaning mainly like working with Celsius and actually coming up with like kind of like a standard thing that would go like, you know, or like linking Celsius.network / and then like a simple code or whatever. And I'm not even necessarily in it trying to make money. I'm just saying trying to kind of spread the word, because if Celsius does well, we all do well, right? So I live in a unique area where a lot of technology is happening, and I feel like it would almost kind of be a no-brainer. So I was just curious if that was a possibility, and obviously it would be someone like myself or other people paying for the, you know, the advertising. So
Go ahead, Wasim.
Sorry, Scott. Like we had done like a good like chunk of data review on like the referrals and all that kind of stuff, and it seems like there's people that like monetize their like ad spend using the referral code. So if you do decide to do anything in the real world with like a billboard ad, I've actually seen some people like that printed their own. Like there was one guy in Lagos, Nigeria, who printed one, had a car wash, and was like sending people to sign up for Celsius. So there's like instances where we've seen people, you know, monetize their ads just using the existing kind of stuff that we have in place, like the referral codes and whatnot. I think for more like unique stuff, yeah, definitely Scott's your man to talk to. But just to note, like I've seen this stuff happening in the wild, and it's super cool.
sounds good. I'll reach out to you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Definitely. I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thanks for coming up, Fuller. Next up is Araceli.
Hello, Celsians. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I have 2 questions and a comment. This Monday we had the Spanish room on Twitter Spaces. We had about 40 people or so, which was pretty successful. Many of them had questions, and they asked me to please ask them to you guys on this spaces because some of them get nervous. Some of them, they just are afraid to come up and speak. Others are working, and others, the language barrier. so, so I'm just a messenger. Please don't shoot me, okay? So here goes the first question. The first question is if there is any hope, or at least a little tiny, tiny hope that Mexico, Central America, and South America will ever get swaps and on-ramps. That's the first one.
Sí, todo el mundo. The whole world will have access to these features. It's just a matter of making sure that the compliance team signs off. So it's happening, and there's more than a little bit of hope. There's a lot of it. The whole world will have general access to swaps as we continue executing along that roadmap. Also, like in the future, there are a decent number of Spanish-speaking Celsius employees. So feel free to probably reach out. Scott, I'm going to give you work, but probably reach out to Scott, and we can try and get someone on there who is from the team.
Perfecto. That's wonderful news. I will share that with you next Monday when we have the Twitter Spaces with at CEL Freedom, which is Santos. The second question was, well, actually not a question. They were just suggesting something. So they were stating that they're very grateful for the $50 rewards that they get every time they onboard somebody, and they're extremely grateful. And that's sort of like their reward for spending time helping somebody onboard. Although there's times when they lose those rewards, those $50, because the person that they're onboarding, they're gonna deposit $25,000 worth in tokens. So they'll rather have them use the not the referral code, but the word just went off my mouth.
Promo code.
Right? So they're like, you know what? Just use the promo code so you can get the reward, and they don't get it, and then they miss on that, and they were wondering if it was possible to have them still have their $50 and also have the other person that's bringing the 25K into the platform for them to get their reward as well. They were just wondering if that was even possible, just to reward their time.
Yeah, I think with the current structure on the promos and referrals, it's still a little, it's very well defined how it executes. So we don't have that level of flexibility right now. But I definitely, we do run into that concern, and we don't want to create a conflict of someone taking the time to bring on a new user and then not to get any reward because the user enters a promo code instead. So I think that's something that we're going to have to work on internally and start building a fix for that, sooner than later.
Fantastic.
Well, you can enter one at a time, one referral code at a time. So, but if you wait 30 days, I think for the $50, then you can do the second one on
No, it's like the HODL 2000 or HODL 500, for example. You could either do the HODL 500 and get the $500 reward, or you could do a referral code. You can't do both because they're for first-time users only.
Oh, first time, yes, but
right.
But you can do the Ethereum promo because that's for everybody.
Sure,
you just have to wait. You have to wait 30 days after they open the account. So my point is that just have them use the generic code.
Yeah, the issue here that they are doing the work. They're spending the time onboarding the person, but yet they don't get any sort of compensation. And $50 in Mexico or in Central America and South America, it's a very lucrative thing, and then they're very grateful for it. They're very thankful, and but sometimes, like I said, they have to give it up just so their person can get the
Well,
benefit. So
they
they're
have to do it in 2 transactions. That's what I'm saying. So the first transaction is the $50. They wait 30 days, and then they go back to the person and say, okay, now go get the Ethereum reward or go get the stablecoin reward. Right? They can use the promo code after the first 30 days. It works if you wait 30 days and then you do another one. So the big deposit they just have to do after the 30 days. Then they get the $50 first, and the customer can still use the referral code.
Oh, I got it. I maybe we misunderstood because we thought that we could only use either or. You cannot use both. But okay,
You
we'll try
cannot
it.
use both at the same time, but
We'll
you
wait
can
30
use
days.
them one after the next. You do one, you wait 30 days, then you do a second one.
Okay, we'll try that. Thank you so much. I will pass on the message to the Hispanic community. And on this one, it's mine. I want to give a shout out to Javier, which goes by South Texan, Esteban, and Santos at CEL Freedom for them holding their Twitter spaces. It's not easy. Sometimes they get tough customers. Sometimes they get tough topics, and that they're always there answering questions for the community. Sometimes there's no one wants to participate, but yet they continue doing it, and it's a kind of difficult task to do. So props to them, and please support them. Also on Mondays with Santos at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Please join us if you speak Spanish, or if you know anybody that speaks Spanish. Santos is there ready to answer all the questions in regards to Celsius. He's full of wealth of knowledge and with the correct vocabulary to answer any kind of question. And thank you so much for everything you guys are doing. The QuickSwap as well, it's going to benefit us big time. I did try to ramp that network, deposited straight my fiat, and then I went into QuickSwap, swapped into, because it was already in the Polygon network when I bought the USDC, so all I had to do was do a swap and QuickSwap and then send it to my Celsius account with very, very minimal fees. So thank you so much for all you guys are doing, and keep hodling.
Thank you for coming up, Araceli. Jay Gels, you're up next.
Yep. Thanks for having me back up. I'm going to keep my question to QuickSwap related content. So this is meant for you. I was just wondering, with the CelsiusX platform rolling out, which will in the future be incorporating a bunch of different blockchains in order to allow for that interoperability, what kind of value, volume do you see that being able to bring to QuickSwap, to Polygon as a whole? Can you just speak as to how you see the CelsiusX product in the future helping to add value to QuickSwap and Polygon?
Yeah, definitely. So one of our goals at QuickSwap is to list like every top 100 assets and as many after that as possible. We want QuickSwap to be a one-stop shop for any token, because as most of you know, if you go on Uniswap, there's a select amount of tokens, and then some you need to buy on PancakeSwap or centralized exchanges. So we want like all the layer ones, all the ERC20s, and it's very hard to get the layer one tokens now because it requires a bridge, and which bridge do you trust, which one do you use? So we're really happy that Celsius is doing the bridging of these like other layer ones for us and providing some liquidity. And I think it definitely will bring volume. One of the reasons is because we are going to incentivize the liquidity for these pairs pretty heavily. So yeah, I mean, I think people will be very excited to trade these other layer one assets on Polygon.
I guess just to follow up on that, if you had a conservative, a realistic, and then an ambitious goal for this integration and this product, how much of your total volume as QuickSwap, as like a percentage, would you associate with those three, I guess, metrics?
I don't want to give any like concrete numbers, but I don't know, 10%. If I had to like put a random number, it's not random. Educated. I don't want to try to predict anything here.
No, that's great, and I appreciate you being here and you helping to educate us on what we can kind of expect looking forwards. I'm very excited to see what comes of it.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Thanks for coming up, JJels. Ace, you're up next.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
All right, awesome. Well, first of all, thanks to the entire team for everything you guys do. Amazing 2021. Very happy customer here. Just wanted to ask a few questions, maybe 3 real quick ones. One around just Platinum. I know you guys are changing that. When is that exactly expected to go live? Is it within the next few weeks, or is it a month or so longer?
Don't want to give an exact time frame, again, to stick with Wasim's form, but it's something we're actively working on and trying to bring in the near future.
Okay. All right. I saw a roadmap around CEL token and possibly some staking features. Is there any information you can share on what that would look like? Is it by percentage or some other means on the rewards?
Again, I can't release those details yet. The roadmap that Alex posted over the weekend was kind of our rough draft, and Wasim is really building out a kind of a complete explanation, and we'll have more information there, but again, not all the details because a lot of this stuff is still in development.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a feeling then you won't be able to answer the other one as well around the credit card timing or any features around what the rewards would be.
Correct. Yeah, we don't have those details.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming up, Ace. Next, M. Riddle, you're up.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One is regarding the regulatory in the state of New Jersey. I know the last date that was given is mid-February. It's coming up, so wanted to know any progress and how are we handling that? Are we working together with like BlockFi and other competitors to talk to the regulators to make progress, or are we just going to just drag it on? And second question I had is regarding the news that was there that Silvergate has bought the Diem network from Facebook Meta. So I wanted to know if Alex or Wasim can share any thoughts on that. And did Celsius look at that, whether it was a good opportunity to pick it up because we are looking for developers and other platforms. I think that's a big game changer, especially with the stable coin coming out by the end of the year from Silvergate. It can be a big crypto adoption as well.
So I think the Diem thing was really funny because it was just like the final nail in what's his name in Mark Zuckerberg's attempt to come into DeFi coffin. And just like Silvergate as an infrastructure provider tends to be like the bank behind things like even like USDC. Like if you watch like where your funds move into on not on chain but like in the real world, it's a Silvergate account. So they're already kind of like big in the space. I don't think we looked at that deal at all. Also largely because like the whole Diem debacle was like, not it doesn't have good press around it by any means. So But yeah, I think it was really funny. I think that's my take on it.
Alex, did you want to add?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the regulators want banks to issue stable coins, right? I think that's what they're pushing towards. So I'm not surprised that Silvergate basically took over this project from Facebook, and you know, I think you're gonna have several people issuing stable coins, and so as long as they're fungible and they're basically represent the same thing, it doesn't really matter if you got it from this guy or the next guy, right? So as to regulators, we continue to work with all regulators. Right now, there's no real deadline, meaning I think most of both us and BlockFi and others got extensions. So there's no hard deadline that we're facing in the next 2 weeks. And we'll keep you guys updated when anything is resolved. So obviously the idea is to resolve something for the entire industry, not just for us or somebody else. So but we're working closely with regulators.
Okay. Thanks, Alex, for the update.
Thanks for coming up, Emriddle. Paul, you're up next.
Hi all, this is Paul from Netherlands. I'd like to thank all Celsians and as colleagues and Alex in special for everything you do for the community. I have two short questions. One is kind of answered. It's about the platinum status was holding 25,000 CEL tokens. OTC Desk told me that they expect that to be there in 2 weeks. Could that be correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't announce a date yet.
Right.
You know, it's just I don't want to guarantee anything until we have a solid time frame.
All right, but it's rather weeks than months, I guess, Zach.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Okay, thanks for the answer. Well, the last question is, it's not able to buy CEL tokens via the app for some reason.
On your swap function, is that what you're saying?
No, I don't have a swap function. Sorry, I'm in the Netherlands, so it's still not available.
Right. We don't have a really great solution for that yet until you get either swaps or a fiat gateway. Then your best option is probably the OTC desk for now.
Yeah, I'm working with them at the moment.
Yeah.
But I was just checking the app, and it's if I click on CEL token, it says if you go to the coins, you go to buy, you go to a list of coins, there is CEL token as well. Then you can click the buy button, and for some reason that ends up in nothing because you have to choose a coin. There is a clickable list, and the CEL token is not on that.
Yeah, we're working to bring more accessibility here and kind of do it in some other roundabout ways. But yeah, we're working on that issue overall, and we'll make it much easier to transact, especially internationally.
Yeah, okay, but that would be nice because there is something like a SEPA, but that doesn't work at all. There's a credit card, but there's a ridiculous fee onto that. And then there is a bank transfer opportunity, but when you click through, that doesn't work for CEL token. So that's kind of a pity. Maybe that's the Six Champions team, or you're part of that, Zach. It's maybe nice to look into that because...
Well, you maybe give a try to QuickSwap. Works all over the world, right? So if you have some digital assets, you can always use that to switch over, and then you can always push that on Polygon back to Celsius.
All right, okay, that's true. But for less experienced users, it would be nice to be able to buy CEL tokens, but just 2 or 3 clicks, and it's pretty impossible.
With our international users that have swaps, they can swap in and out of it at any time. So I think probably swaps would be a really great solution for you as well when it hits your area.
Yeah, but that will take a while, I'm afraid. So that's not about me. I can transact via OTC, so that's no problem. But I could guess that for a lot of people worldwide, it should be made easier to buy CEL tokens via the app. And you're nearly there, but in some way you get stuck at the last stop, using bank transfer, credit card, via third parties, whatever. But it ends in well, kind of dead ends all the time. So I was just experimenting, and I will transact with OTC tomorrow. So it's not about me, but it's a pity that a lot of people are not able to buy CEL in this easy way, in which you can buy, well, whatever Bitcoin Cash and all kind of rarities.
Well, the community is going to be putting out videos on like basically tutorials, I think, or they already have, like on how to operate QuickSwap. You might find it's not as challenging as you might think. So be on the lookout for those. And thank you for coming up, Paul. Appreciate you being up here.
All right. Thank you all. Bye.
No problem. Socknug, you're up next.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I just kind of got a question broadly about the now announced Matic Celsius partnership. Outside of CelsiusX, what other ways may I be overlooking that this is going to impact the way Celsius earns yield for its users with this close relationship with Matic? I don't know if Alex, this one's on or what's he?
Yeah, well, so just for starters, like the CEL token in the Ethereum ecosystem, it doesn't have like as much, I guess, volume as you'd want it to, and like really to do any kind of liquidity mining or to engage in like DeFi-esque financial activities in the Ethereum L1 is like cost prohibitive to a majority of users. So I think the thing that's most exciting for me about CelsiusX and the CEL token being, large, like available on the Polygon layer and eventually other L2s is just that now you'll end up having the CEL asset that is accessible to builders in the space, and more and more financial utilities, like sources of demand. Maybe people want to borrow, sell to become platinum to pay their loan back on Celsius, or things like that become actually possible just because we've kind of gotten around that like cost prohibitive fee structure that the ETH one has. But like speaking directly to like other ways that the CEL token will be useful, I mentioned earlier, like keep an eye out on the CelsiusX Twitter. They'll be talking a bit about this later on. And then also like QuickSwap, I think they mentioned there's like a liquidity mining program, stuff like that coming online. So again, like the value is that now like retail users will be able to use CEL in DeFi land again without getting absolutely demolished by fees. And that should lead to a lot of really cool innovation.
Awesome. So as we see like that kind of ecosystem grow and flourish within itself, as we've seen many other DeFi ecosystems kind of like take over and create new and innovative ways to generate yield, that just kind of is going to be on Celsius's radar as this grows, essentially.
I mean, yeah, just keeping, like I mentioned this earlier too, Celsius is one of the, if not the biggest user of DeFi in the world, in DeFi, in the Etherverse, whatever you want to call it. And CelsiusX is like our first step into being an infrastructure provider in that space. So all the domain expertise on Celsius's end exists. Like we're the biggest user, but it's largely cost prohibitive to do any of these things in an L1 if the L1 charges you $500 in fees just to get the asset in the first place. So yeah, like again, we are DeFi pros, DeFi kings at Celsius. Like a huge chunk of our team is focused on that line of business. But actually being an infrastructure provider, supporting these alternative L1s and these roll-ups and whatnot, I think is where like the retail side of DeFi innovation will start to become like actually possible. Which also, just Josh, by the way, we have Vivek down there with his fancy NFT profile picture. If he wants to come up and say anything I missed, he'd be a good guy to bring online.
Sure, I'll get him up.
Vivek, sorry to call you out if you're like relaxing.
Sweet. Thank you so
Oh,
much
hello guys.
for
Can you hear
answering.
me? Oh, sorry. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, just hang on a second, Barry.
Yep.
All right, Vivek is up with us.
Thanks for the invite, Wasim.
Vivek in the house.
Yeah, Vivek, do you want to talk about any of the stuff that you see in like us starting to be more like L2 friendly and whatnot?
Yeah, totally. This is the mission that made me want to really join Celsius and work on the CelsiusX side. And I think that so far the availability of the spectrum of opportunity that's in DeFi across chains, it's only really been available to power users, and that's not what crypto and blockchain is about. Blockchain is about giving everyone access to all the financial tools that banks used to have. And I think that by creating really like simple, easy to use, but safe infrastructure to allow users that were previously just had the option to be in CeFi to be able to bridge over to blockchain ecosystems. Polygon's a perfect first target. And then use their assets and participate in the same opportunities that we as Celsius do. I think that's unlocking a whole world of opportunity. So I think that's how we create real utility and adoption, is we give everyone the opportunities that we have ourselves and sort of open up the whole financial world.
QuickSwap, I saw you on mute. Did you want to add to the conversation?
I just said Vivek in the house.
Got you.
Yeah, so to add to that, and I think QuickSwap said that before, like if you go on FTX, for example, there's obviously almost every pair you can imagine. But that is actually very hard to do on DeFi, right? Because Solana or Cardano or whatever don't come natively on even on many of these layer 2s, right? So the only way to bring that over, you need to basically build a bridge. And you can do a bridge between two chains, right? You can bridge two chains, for example, Cardano and Polygon, and hope for the best, hope that the code is clean. Or you can do it in layer 0, which is what Celsius is basically doing with CelsiusX. So we wrap and mint an equivalent asset, and then we use third-party verification. In this case, it would be Chainlink as an oracle, monitoring and making sure that the minted assets and the original assets still exist, and there's no double spend. There's no double usage of that asset. So when you, for example, acquire or swap into a Solana, wrapped Solana or wrapped Cardano, or anything else on, for example, in the future on QuickSwap running on Polygon, you know that asset represents the original coin that sits on the other chain, and you can always go to Celsius, basically redeem the original asset, right? That's the beauty of bridging natively through layer 0, right? So what Celsius does, if you read Vitalik's recent post, and he's basically leaning more and more towards using CeFi as the layer 0 bridge, which is obviously what Celsius and CelsiusX have been working on for the past 2 to 3 years. So we think that is the safest and quickest way to get there, to have equivalent capabilities to some of these centralized exchanges, but without all of the risks and the problems that many of them bridge. And again, Celsius has one leg in DeFi and one leg in CeFi. right? But we promise to always act in the best interest of the community. And I can tell you many of these exchanges just can't say that. They can't come out and say, yep, I'm never on the other side of the trade. I'm never not acting in your best interest. I'm never quoting a price that might not be the best price for you, the user. So those are the things that we need to fight for and make sure that they're available to the community in a way that is transparent and equal and empowering across the world, and not just for the tech savvy or the well connected or the people who have specific access.
Socknode, did you have any other questions or comments?
No, but I mean, QuickSwap is here. I know I caught you in the Bancor spaces as well. Are there any other protocols that were Celsius is looking to add liquidity to or work with in the future, or is that just kind of going to come along the line? I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at more. I don't think we can share what ones, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
So I think Wasim mentioned it before that we and Zach that we're very active on many of the existing platforms, both borrowing and lending, right? So depending what the market conditions are, sometimes we're a lender, sometimes we're a borrower, and but here, again with CelsiusX, we're moving from just being a participant in the market to actually being some of the critical infrastructure, right? Providing the utility that you will need to be able to transact across these different chains, have fair price discovery, and all the other stuff we just talked about. But we definitely participate, on many different platforms, including probably most of the ones you use every day if you're a savvy DeFi player.
Good to hear. Thank you so much. That was a great conversation.
Thank you for coming up, Socknug. All right, go ahead, BeeryX.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So my question is with regards to the Twitter announcement. I think this is great news. So kind of like to unpack this statement. Does that mean if I have CEL token on my MetaMask wallet on the Polygon network, I can just send that directly to my Celsius wallet without crossing the Polygon bridge, and it would land straight into my wallet?
That is correct.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. I think it's a huge solution, and I'm pretty sure that people don't understand what it means yet, because it's incredible to be able to just send the funds right away without having to cross the bridge. I don't know if a lot of people has used the Matic network and have to bridge some funds back. Sometimes it can take up to 7 days, just to go back from Polygon to Ethereum. But this is just pretty much a bridge crossing straight, and it's incredible. I'm gonna use it right away, and
I'd say just be sure to do a test first, just to be certain. But it is up and running.
That's amazing. I just wanted to kind of like echo a little bit of my conversation with my brother, and that is that 2022 is most definitely going to be a great year for cross-chain interoperability, and this is like proof of it. So
I posted the 6 assets that you can currently transfer directly on Polygon to Celsius. Just remember, when you withdraw them, you will be withdrawing them on layer 1. You're not withdrawing on layer 2. So even though you're depositing or moving these to Celsius on layer 2, when you go back to transact with it or move it somewhere else, it will be normal. You would still be on Ethereum.
But Vivek will fix that for us soon, right?
yeah, we're working on solving it, but right now it's just to make sure people understand and don't go and look for that when they withdraw. Look for their assets on Polygon.
Thank you for coming up, BeeryX. Next up is Lucia.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Asian New Year's for everyone celebrating. I hear it's the year of the tiger. It's supposed to be very auspicious for everybody, so that's a great sign. And I had a promo code question. Is it only possible to use a promo code on the app, on the phone app, or can you use it on your desktop app?
I believe it's on there, and if it's not, it will be shortly.
Okay, because today I moved some USDC in from Coinbase and I used my laptop. It's just easier to go from Coinbase to app.celsius.network. And after I did that, I realized that I didn't have the opportunity to use a promo code. So I called the 800 number and they're on it, and I'm sure it'll be resolved. But I thought, oh, my, it should be more obvious if it is there on the website.
Yeah, we're going to build the website will have all of the same features as the app. It's just building up to that. It'll take some time.
All right. I just wanted to check. I thought, I didn't think I missed it, but I just wanted to check on that. Okay, that's great. And always good news coming out of the space. So thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.
Thank you for coming up, Lucia. Next up is Dr. Sato. Satoshi.
Hey guys. Yeah, I was just with the partnership with CelsiusX and QuickSwap. I was just wondering about more of the utility for each token. Do things change, or like how does that all work now with the new partnership and stuff like that?
I can jump in on that one. So we think there's two aspects to having access to layer 2. One is being able to easily, safely, and cheaply bridge over to layer 2 and not have to think about that process. But once you have a token on layer 2, the question is, what do you do with it? And so that's why we're very, very focused on forming partnerships to create utility for tokens. So that way, users will have a reason and will have a lot of destinations to put their tokens to work once they're wrapped over. The first and key partnership is with QuickSwap. So we set up pools and liquidity. So once you bridge tokens over, you can trade them, you can LP them. And again, there'll be a lot more material coming out on how to do all that and what that means and how you can earn in DeFi with that. But we are as focused on creating utility for tokens in the ecosystem as we are creating bridges and roads over to the ecosystem.
Hey, Vivek, and maybe also just to talk to, like, now that we have CEL token on there and on QuickSwap, like, what are some of the things that people can do with the CEL token to find like alternative forms of yield or utility as it relates to that partnership?
Yeah, that's a super interesting question. So the awesome part about DeFi is it's fully permissionless, open, accessible to everyone. And so the key innovation from automated market makers, so exchanges, decentralized exchanges like QuickSwap, is anyone can create pools of liquidity if they have assets. And typically the old Wall Street banks would only be able to do this. They would be able to be market makers and trade. Now anyone with crypto assets can do that. So someone can come into QuickSwap, put up some CEL token and maybe ETH or maybe Matic into a pool and create their own pool. And how do you make money from that? Well, a portion of the trading fees, 0.3% of all trading fees, go to pool providers. And that's the really cool innovation of exchanges. And QuickSwap is permissionless, open, anyone can come create that. It's a really, really cool way to put their CEL to work. There's obviously risks with that too, and we'll have a lot of content out. There's impermanent loss, etc. But you can be liquidity and create liquidity and utility for your token.
So
yeah,
speaking,
so I already
I was just going to say, Alex, just speaking of liquidity, I think the other day, Alex, you put some in there, but maybe you can say more.
Yep. So that's Josh X. For those who don't know, who was just talking, you know. So I did add some liquidity, some CEL, some Matic, some Ethereum, but we'll be obviously adding enough liquidity to make sure that. And I invite other people, like Vivek just said, to participate. You get to earn some yield, and you get to help your fellow community members.
Yeah, currently the yield actually via the trading fees is quite high on QuickSwap. It's something like around 15% APY after impermanent loss. So if you have some CEL token on Polygon and instead of depositing into the Celsius app and you want to instead provide liquidity, perhaps CEL ETH pair on QuickSwap, that's totally an option as an alternative way to earn yield on DeFi.
Yeah, I'm getting like 20% on my Matic CEL pair.
Is there a target amount that you'd like to see over at QuickSwap?
Yeah, I will say we are like pleasantly surprised with the volume the last couple weeks, with doing no marketing around like the CEL token on QuickSwap. So I can't imagine the trading once like we both announce it. As far as target liquidity, it's really up to the volume. I mean, the beauty of decentralized exchanges is, like if there's a lot of volume, then the APY will rise for the liquidity pair. And then if the APY rises, more people want to provide liquidity. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Typically, the large pools will have a couple million, and a couple million will allow whales to actually be able to buy and sell. If they're doing like $10,000 transactions at a time. So I guess that would be a goal, a couple million.
I think there's one other big milestone here that will allow us kind of a brand new CEL token utility. If Josh, you could talk about that and what that would lead us and what that really means for CEL token and CEL token yield going forward.
Sure, absolutely. So we did a little bit of a teaser tweet the other day through the CelsiusX channel, which perhaps you guys caught it, but it's with a second partnership that we're forging together with a protocol called QiDao, and I'm sure the QuickSwap folks are well familiar with them. And what QiDao is they are a stablecoin protocol that allows you to mint MAI, which is their stablecoin, through collateral. And in this case, QiDao is very much open to using CEL token as a collateral asset for minting MAI. However, the prerequisite for that proposal to get started is that there needs to be sufficient liquidity on the, in this case, QuickSwap DEX. So there are a couple of milestones. So once we cross 1 million liquidity, we can begin starting the proposal. And then as we scale up higher and higher, what happens is the MAI debt ceiling increases, meaning we get to mint more and more stablecoins using CEL as collateral. So the point being here is the more liquidity, the more stablecoins, the more stablecoins, the more yield.
So you're saying that we can stake this liquidity on QuickSwap, and then that will give QDAI, I'm sorry for mispronouncing that, the confidence and the ability to create a stable coin using that CEL token as collateral, which can then be used in all kinds of different applications.
That's correct. And the reason that this protocol, QiDao, needs to have sufficient CEL liquidity before they can list CEL on their platform is because if in the event of liquidation, QiDao needs to be able to liquidate the CEL tokens on the open market. So if there's not enough liquidity on these DEXs, then of course the CEL token can't be liquidated. Therefore, the more liquidity, the higher the debt ceiling, and the more confidence this protocol has with CEL as collateral.
So Alex, would you be able to put some liquidity towards this, and then would you be able to ask the community to help us reach this $25 million liquidity milestone so we can start having CEL-backed stablecoins?
Yep. So for those who remember, we started this process with Ava and Compound and so on, and for a variety of reasons, for some reason they decided not to allow us to get to the finish line. So I'm happy that here we are relying on a decentralized protocol, a completely decentralized protocol versus something that is controlled by a set of people that decide if they like Celsius or the CEL token or whatever. So I'll help with the liquidity and invite everybody in the Celsius community to do the same. Again, you get paid to do this, and for those of you who remember, we were talking about opportunities to earn more than what Celsius pays. Here's an example of something that pays more than what Celsius pays you for staking. Obviously, there's other risks involved, so you have to understand what you're doing. You maybe start small, understand the impermanent loss, understand the pairs that you want to participate on, right? Learn how to operate on layer 2. These are all new things for people, and then we can basically you can benefit from all of these things. And if you don't want to do all of that, then you can just stick with the original Celsius yield. Again, we'll be raising the yield for platinum users, so they'll be earning 25% more than the regular 5.1%. But there's definitely other ways and other opportunities to benefit from all of these capabilities.
And just to add to that, I have nothing but good things to say about QDAO. Very fair, great people to work with. There'd be no problem listing CEL token as long as you meet the requirements. And I think it comes down to like a DAO vote, but I don't think they've ever denied adding anything. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, and one thing I just wanted to say, so with CelsiusX, bridging is not merely just being able to move one asset from one blockchain to another, or I would say that's a part of bridging, but really, bridging is more so about being able to bridge network effects from different blockchains and also between different protocols. And so what CelsiusX is doing here is our objective is not merely to expand the utility of CEL token, although that's a big component of it, but more so it's about bridging the ecosystems together. And so our hope here is that we're bridging over Cardano and Doge and Ethereum and eventually many other assets to Polygon and many other blockchains in the future. But imagine that all of these ecosystems, they all have protocols as well. And the more that we can connect these ecosystems together, what happens is you actually multiply the network effects of each ecosystem. And so in the case of QDAO and in the case of QuickSwap, here are two very excellent platforms that are in the DeFi space, we call them composable. And so this is just merely the beginning of these massive multiplicative network effects that can happen through bridges.
Yeah, thank you for that, and a lot of good information here. Hopefully, there might be a lot of people in the audience here that are interested in participating in the liquidity that might not know how to. Maybe if you're in the community and you know how to do that, maybe share that information so that people can learn how to participate and do that. I think the next person up, by the way, Dr. Satoshi, thank you for coming up. Next person up is Alex.
Just Josh, also remind everybody to share the room so we can get as many people as we can in today.
Yep. If you guys are just joining us, make sure you're sharing out the room, letting everyone know that we're live. And if you want to join us up here on stage, just tap on the mic in the bottom left. All right, Alex, go ahead.
Para todo el mundo. That was very well done, Wasim. You made Araceli very proud. You sounded like a true Hispanic without an accent.
Soy de Texas.
What's that?
Soy de Texas. Hay muchos hispanohablantes.
Ándale, muy bien, muy bien. Hey guys, my question is, you know how Dharma is closing down? So I was able to move my CEL token to my Polygon wallet that I created, and I see my tokens there, and it looks like it's the same address that I'm using for my MetaMask, but I don't see my tokens in MetaMask, but they are in the Polygon wallet. Can I transfer from the Polygon wallet on the mainnet Polygon to Celsius? Do a test first, of course, or do I need to see them first in my MetaMask? Because I think I'm missing something to be able to see the tokens there.
Yep. Yeah, that's just what we brought live last week. A lot of people have been testing it, and be sure to do a test transaction. But yeah, that technical backend is up and running. So you can't pull from Celsius on Polygon, but you can transfer to Celsius on Polygon with those assets and more to come.
Okay, so go to my Polygon mainnet wallet and paste my Celsius CEL address and then transfer over, and it should work. I'll do a test first, of course.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you, guys. Buenas noches a todos.
Thank you for coming up, Alex. And Monterman.
Hey, guys. Good night. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Awesome. So I have a question, but before I wanted to answer maybe a little bit and give a little bit of advice to Alex. If you have a new wallet on MetaMask on your Polygon network, you probably are not seeing the asset in the MetaMask is because you need to add the token as a custom token. Just Google that and you will be able to see it. But if you go to your Polygon wallet website, you should be able to see the asset in the website of the Polygon wallet. Just a quick help there for Alex. So more about my question. Okay, this question is going to involve what my brother said about BRIX. Definitely 2022 is the year of the cross chain. And all the protocols and all the services that are going to last and are going to be here for the long run, they are going to be integrated. Those cross-chain simplicities and tools for the users, and it's going to be like seamless. Just to bring two very easy examples that I've seen and then products that I've used, Sapper with a Z and Rubik. They're so easy. Rubik is actually aggregating, bridging and swapping cross-chain in a very, very easy way. And I'm actually delighted. I'm actually starting to use QuickSwap through Rubik's from Ethereum to QuickSwap directly. And great work on getting the Celsius wallet now to receive the Celsius. Although we saw the Twitter announcement, it would be great to add some explanation somewhere in the app stating that it can be done right now, because unless you try it, you're not going to know it happens. So the first question, really, sorry for the long comment. I'm very excited about it, and I think this is amazing because all the Celsius that I've always bought has been in QuickSwap, and the liquidity is there. I even provided some liquidity in the past. So the first question I have is, what other cross-chain products or services or features are we going to add in the long run? And this is not only looking at the layer 0, which seems to be an amazing end product that is going to take a long time to be launched and to be executed, but how can we get the users to get more functionality of these cross-chain abilities, such as the deposits, such as the maybe receiving yield, such as maybe depositing directly to a pool using some sort of a portal or something like that. And finally, this is a simple for QuickSwap. What is Dragon Syrup? What can I actually use Dragon Syrup for? That's it. Thank you very much again. Great work.
Yeah. So real quick about Dragon. When users trade on QuickSwap, there's a 0.3% fee, same as Uniswap, I think PancakeSwap. 0.25% of that goes to people that provide LP. Like you guys were saying before, you can gain yield by providing LP. But 0.04% of that goes to buying back Quick off the market. And then we distribute that Quick to users that are in the Dragon's Lair, which the Dragon's Lair is just single staking of Quick. And then another thing on top of that actually is you can take your D-Quick or Dragon's Quick, which right now is earning like 50% APY. You can use it as collateral on QiDao and then mint the stablecoin off your D-Quick. So you're actually gaining yield on Quick based on fees. Plus now you have a stablecoin that you can do whatever you want with. It's pretty crazy. And then if you were to do that on Ethereum, the gas fees would be insane. But on Polygon, it's great. I'd encourage you to like go on our Medium to learn more. I mean, I don't know if my explanation made sense, but I don't want to take too long. I hope that helps.
Monter, did that answer your question?
Thank you. It does help. It's like leverage on top of leverage plus farming, which I've done in the past, and I love it on Polygon because the fees are so cheap. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for coming up, Monter. Next up is CEL Cap.
Hi. So I guess my main question was, does CelsiusX have the intention of kind of aggregating all of these different DeFi solutions into kind of one central kind of app hub interface? Because that'd be cool.
Yeah, so, again, we're not trying to create yet another centralized exchange, right? There's plenty of those out there. So I think and I think Josh X said that best before, is really, instead of a lot of small pools that all have their own small liquidity, Celsius creates roads and bridges between all these different pools to create an ocean, right? So if you think of the ocean as one giant body of water, versus a lot of small pools that are not interconnected, we just allowed all of this liquidity to flow between all the different places. So we're not trying to grab all that and put it in one place and dominate the industry or whatever, or replace Binance or replace FTX or replace whoever else is coming next, right? But rather enable all these protocols and all these capabilities to be to have low friction, if not no friction, right? Because we don't charge any fees, and basically empower both the DeFi and the CeFi community. I think users in general, over time, they'll realize who is really acting in their best interest and who is always there taking the other side or charging them fees or liquidating them, and so on. So we're not in the business of providing leverage or trying to get you liquidated or whatever, right? Those are we think predatory practices. These are things that make people leave the DeFi community or the CeFi community, go back to fiat land, and that's not how you grow the crypto community. That's not how you bring the next billion people into crypto. So we don't empower or enable these type of services. For example, you can't get leverage. You cannot get leverage on Celsius, right? That's the whole point. Is that you want to wreck yourself? Go to one of the other platforms. You want to make your way to financial freedom? Then stick with Celsius.
That's a perfect, amazing answer, actually. So thank you. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys don't have that intention, and it's just it's true Celsius. that's just the heart of Celsius, right? Just community. So awesome stuff. So I heard something. I guess my last question was I heard something about a Celsius stablecoin. That's fantastic. Is that something that could enable higher yield on the CEL token?
Yeah, absolutely. So perhaps the better way to think about it is in DeFi, there's so many ways that you can make assets more productive. As an example, providing liquidity on AMM is one way to make an asset productive, like QuickSwap. Another way to make an asset productive is to use it as a collateral asset to mint, in this case, stablecoins through a protocol like GDAO. Other ways are like you could do structured products like options. So this is just like, 3 different ways where you can make assets very productive on DeFi. We're exploring many different options for making CEL token more productive.
That's super awesome. Super hype, guys. Keep up the great work.
Yep. Thanks for joining us on stage, CEL Cap. John, you're up next.
Hey, thanks, Josh. Hello, everybody. Man, I'm so excited about tonight, all the announcements and everything. And I know there's more to come probably, but I'm super excited. CelsiusX. I've actually tried Matic on Ramp. Thank you for Scott and everybody who let me know about Ramp, because that's amazing. I was able to send Matic. I bought Matic on Ramp and got it to Celsius in about 15 minutes, and that's including KYC with Ramp. So that was a super fast process. I actually made a video, tweeted it out. So if anybody wants to check it out, go for it. But I was gonna ask. Hold on a second, Ava. Shh. I was gonna go back to what Josh X was saying about interoperability. And calling in like more communities to the space. Do you think that I know that like the Digibyte community has been very active in wanting to get their coin onto the platform. Do you think that this opens the door for more of those kind of like communities to be brought into this space?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, for instance, any of the communities that are on the Celsius platform now are excellent candidates. I'll also say one more thing. There's a community that I think we're a huge one that I think we're potentially ignoring, which is the whole other world that has yet to even touch crypto. Who's bridging them into crypto, right? And so you think about the institutions in TradFi, the folks, even the folks that have yet to touch crypto and are still, just retail folks. There's just a whole ocean here that has yet to be tapped. And the question is, who's bridging them? And we hope that Celsius and CelsiusX together are, part of that infrastructure that helps bridge these folks into DeFi as well.
That's super exciting. Yeah, I can't wait to get my mom and dad in the easiest way possible, Love it.
Thanks for coming up, John. Next up is Rob.
Hey, Josh. What's up, man? Thanks for letting me talk. So first of all, I want to say I'm really glad that the Josh X name has stuck, because I will forever be proud of that. And I think it's hilarious that everyone keeps calling him Josh X. Secondly, I think some people saw on Twitter, like today was my last day at my current job. And it was really ironic because of the fact that I got the new Celsius HODL shirt design on that same day today. So little irony there that I thought was pretty funny. And third, most importantly, is I have one of my buddies in real life on this call right now who is forcing me to ask a question, even though I don't technically have a question. So I was wondering if either Alex, you, or one of the either Josh X or Vivek, what's up, Vivek? Good to see you, man. If one of you can convince Zach, who's also, his name is Zach, to come work for Celsius. That's my
Sure,
question.
I'm happy to do a pitch. You gotta give me some more ammunition here. Like, what's holding him back?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's just he works at the same company I do. He's very interested in crypto. He's actually more in the DeFi world than I've ever been in crypto. So yeah, anything that you can convince him to. he sorry, he's messaging me on Discord right now, telling me to chill out, which I think is hilarious.
Stick him in a room with Vivek for like 10 minutes, and then he'll be full-time Celsian the next day.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened at the crypto conference down in Tampa. I got stuck in a room with Josh X and Vivek and some others, and it was all uphill from there. So
Yeah. So look, I mean, I don't know what the current job is, but I think rarely you get to impact so many people and help so many people. And again, our mission of doing good and then doing well is not something you can just achieve in your average job, right? So, we always say that we're missing few hundred technical people, right, to be able to deliver on all these features. And the main reason why it's taking so long, a lot of people are frustrated, but the main reason it's taking so long is because we don't have enough Wasim's or Vivek's or Rob's to come and help us solve these complex problems, right, and test it out and make sure that when we release a product, we don't have any technical issues or hacks or any kind of issues that many other platforms unfortunately have. So again, helping others and at the same time also creating some financial freedom for yourself. You can't ask for more than that. So if that's not enough of a pitch, then sorry, I don't have anything else for you.
all right, appreciate that, Alex. Yeah, that was all. Thanks, everyone.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for giving Josh his X. His Josh X.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it will stick for life now. That's it.
I know. That's my biggest contribution to Celsius so far.
Right. But for the new people in the room, I just wanted to repeat the dates we did give last week. So I don't have the list in front of me. So Zach and Josh and Scott jump in and cover for me. But we had basically, again, we're launching Solana and Songbird on the 11th, February 11th. And we will be launching a Luna for US users. We have it right now for international users, but for US users this Friday, so just a few days from now. And you'll see it in the wallet, and you'll be able to start transferring it and staking it through Celsius. And so you'll see the rate. I know a lot of people were asking me, what's the rate? I think, what's the published rate right now? Does anyone has it in front of them for international users? Because I can't see it myself in the wallet. Any international users on the call who can? But anyway, we'll be publishing the new rate. There'll be a new rate on Friday, and hopefully, again, a lot of people will be excited about that. And again, the roadmap, the suggested roadmap that we publish for CEL is so you can give us feedback, right? That's the idea was to basically get input from you guys, tell us what's more important, less important. We do have limited resources, so we need to prioritize things. And if you feel that some of the stuff we push to Q2 or Q3 is more important than other things, then that's the whole point. Just communicate with us, let us know. Again, Wasim and others who are leading the effort on this, so we can prioritize things based on what the community wants and not necessarily what we think is the most important stuff. What else am I missing? Dates or announcement. Zach dropped from the call, so he doesn't have to say anything. You see, that's it. We lost him. Now we know how to get rid of him. Just start committing to dates.
He's trying to come back up. I'm trying to get him back up. But I off the top of my head, I know that we have swaps going up to 100K. I don't know the exact date, and then shortly thereafter, we're gonna move it up to 250K for platinum users.
100 is already live for platinum. So that's already live. We're going to 250 soon. I don't think there's a date for that. But what else did we talk about last week? I think we published that. So if anyone can.
I think that's about. You know me, I'm always hesitant to say any dates. I leave that up to you, Alex.
Yeah, but basically, there's no change in date. So if you look at the who one of our ambassadors tweeted the list, right? I forgot who it was, but the list that was tweeted, the only thing that was different there was the Solana, instead of being February 8th, it's February 11th. That's the only difference from the list that we published last week. All right, next question.
Rob, thanks for coming up. Next up is CelsiusX Voyager. Finally got Zach up. Go ahead.
There it is. BTC Kyle had the tweet that kept everything. I'm going to pull it up right now.
Right. Hello, Celsius community. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Zach, let us know whenever you got that. We'll go ahead and let this guy get his question in. Go ahead, CelsiusX Voyager.
All right, you guys can hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Well, now we can't.
Yeah, he might be having technical difficulties as well. I'm going to pivot over to Lloyd.
Right.
Go ahead, Lloyd.
I just want to say,
Hey guys. Oh, go on, I'll let him go if he's back in.
No, you're good. You're good to go, Lloyd.
All right, okay. So I thought it was jumping back in and managed to grab a good connection. Just a quick question on, you guys currently have Luna in the platform. So I was wondering, how come you don't have UST as a stablecoin in the platform at the moment?
Like I mentioned this earlier, when we add new assets that are on like their own chain, we'll add like the base assets, so Avalanche, Solana, Luna, and so on, and then after that, more assets that are settling on that chain are likely to be easier to add. So I think just look at it that way. I think more than anything.
Okay, so are you kind of saying that it's kind of more of a matter of time and you just got to put it in the roadmap to add it because you've already got Luna on there?
Yeah, I mean, because you have to work, like we have to work with our custodial providers to get like asset support for any new chain that we want to come online, and then once they have the base asset, they have to like start to figure out how to accept or engage with like the equivalent of an ERC20 on that chain. But that's like actively happening. I think like just a cool note on that line, like Coinbase started supporting Solana, and then like a month later or so, or 2 months later, they're now supporting like some Solana native assets like Orca and so on. And I think it's just the nature of how custody works, right? You got to get the base asset supported, and then you got to be able to support the kind of like ERC20 equivalents.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Great news on the Polygon stuff. Sounds like you guys might get a bit of breathing space, perhaps on the on-ramp stuff, because if USDC can come in via Polygon and people have swaps, then that should make things a little cheaper. I know, for example, I've been using Transact.com, which apparently mentioned, I think it's on Coin Bureau, they were saying they're going to introduce it in the US fairly soon. So that means, and they do USDC onto Polygon, which can then go straight into Celsius. which I think in the UK and Europe it's 1% on bank transfer, so it's reasonably decent. But yeah, obviously looking forward to the on-ramp stuff as well.
Did that conclude your questions and comments up here on stage, Lloyd?
Yeah, cheers, Josh.
All right, and Wasim, I saw you on mute. Were you gonna follow up?
No, I was just gonna. Transact is really cool. Kind of like they merge Wire on top of like different DeFi liquidity sources. There's also, like other people have been mentioning, Ramp as a way to get onto the Polygon network. And then like I linked up in the space to this article we wrote a while ago called Insights into Interoperability. And like from there, you can kind of tell like Celsius's vision is to also enable that kind of like cross-chain, also like not just chains, but like traditional financial settlement layers into and out of the Celsius app. So it's all slowly coming together.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up, Lloyd. CelsiusX Voyager, let's try this again.
All right, round two. Hopefully the speakers are working this time around. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And just so you know, we could hear you last time too.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know what was up with the AirPods. But I just want to say, yeah, happy Lunar New Year. It's a year of the Tiger. And yeah, Tigers remind me of Focus, and the Celsius team has just been locked in. I love this new CelsiusX that you guys are rolling out. And I know I've been kind of sitting on the sideline. I haven't really bought new CEL since I invested last, which is 6, 7, 8 months ago. But the swaps feature did incentivize me to start buying CEL again. Obviously, the price is lower too, but I just want to say from an investor standpoint that the utility offered by the swaps is definitely bringing people to start buying CEL. So I just want to say thank you for taking another look at the tokenomics. A question I have about margin calls. Let's say I have a loan against my Bitcoin and the margin call level is at 25,000 and liquidation is at 20,000. If there's a wick to 24,000 and it bounces back up to 26, I'll temporarily get margin called, but if it goes back above the 65% LTV level, do you guys recall the margin call, or is that margin call still on?
Generally, the call will persist, but then you can reach out with our lending team, and then generally it'll you're back into clean territory. But when there's all these wild wicks, if the trend is still going downwards, even if it pumps for an hour or so, generally you want to top up, make sure that you can stay within kind of good margin just in case anything bad does happen. Yeah, and especially in the event of those wild movements, you don't know if it's going up, you don't know if it's going down, you're making a bet either way, so better to just hedge it, get some deposits into the app for whatever the collateral is, and in the event that there could be a need to call on the margin, at least you'll be prepared.
Got it. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for everything you guys do.
Yeah, so the margin calls are not a liquidation event, right? I mean, the margin call, and now, by the way, you get push messages, you get all, we bother you a lot because basically we're trying to make sure that you are on top of the game, right? That you are managing your positions, you're making sure that you are not over leveraged, you're not overextended, and that you're preparing for the case where markets may go against you, right? Because a lot of people think they know where Bitcoin is going, but really no one knows, right? No one knows where any of these coins are going. So it gives you a warning, and it keeps you alert to make sure that you make intelligent decisions about your financial future, right? So our team, I think we're famous in the industry for giving you as many opportunities as possible versus other people who liquidate you as fast as possible. But if it does go to liquidation territory, we don't have a choice. We can't just wait forever. So if you don't top up or you don't return some of the loan, we have no choice, and we'll have to liquidate the position.
Got it. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for everything you guys do. Yeah, so the margin calls are not a liquidation event, right? I mean, the margin call, and now, by the way, you get push messages, you get all, we bother you a lot because basically we're trying to make sure that you are on top of the game, right? That you are managing your positions, you're making sure that you are not over leveraged, you're not overextended, and that you're preparing for the case where markets may go against you, right? So
Celsius, Voyager, did that answer your question?
That did answer my question. And I will give Alex credit. He did actually give us a warning. He said, I do not recommend taking out loans against your crypto to buy more crypto because that is risky. So I do want to say that you did warn the community about that. And luckily, I haven't been margin called because my margin call level is down around 20,500, and liquidation levels at 17,000. But it started getting to the point where it's like I started getting nervous, and they always say if you can't sleep well at night, you're probably taking on too much risk, and it's money I can't afford to lose. So I definitely feel like I learned my lesson, and I think I'll still be safe, but it's a good learning experience for me. So yeah, thank you for that.
Again, making it to financial freedom does not mean you end up on the Forbes 400. Okay, it just means that you did not get wrecked, you did not blow up, you did not take too much risk, and you still managed. You already own the very volatile assets that hopefully again is going to increase in value. You're already up. You're in the in one of the most volatile games in all of finance, right? So taking leverage on top of it is just unnecessary risk. And again, exchanges, other players who give you leverage are in the game to make sure that you blow up. When you blow up, they're usually on the other side of the trade, right? They're the ones who give you 10x leverage, which basically guarantees that over a year or 2 years, you're gonna get liquidated because they just have to wait for one of these flash crashes or blow off tops happens, depending what direction you're going, to basically wipe you out, right? So you have to understand that for every trade, there's somebody taking the other side, and just like you go to the casino, and the casino is on the other side of your trade, right? Of you playing cards. When you go to an exchange, it's exactly the same thing, So it's very important for people to understand that the goal here is for everybody to make it to the finish line. And if you just have enough money to live on, then you achieved financial freedom, right? That's the point. You don't have to be the richest guy in the world.
Did that conclude your questions up here, Celsius?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
All right, cool. Looks like we got time for one more question. Mr. Cartmill, what's going on?
Not much. I was just going to ask, when CelsiusX is launched, is it going to be nationwide, or is there going to be, or the people of Texas going to get bamboozled by regulation where they can't participate, or how's that going to work?
DeFi is permissionless.
So that means we'll be able to. That's cool. That answers my question. I was just wondering because I wasn't sure how that was going to work. So, but then also, I just want to congratulate all of Celsius for recovering 30 million for users. That's just an amazing thing that I don't think I've seen any article written about that or praising Celsius for that move. But I want to praise everybody in Celsius for that. It's just an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, well, why would they write about that? They're busy writing about stuff that no one really cares about.
Alex, I'm convinced that people only want to write articles about you when they get to use that like evil picture of you with the mic and the like way too much contrast on it. I think that's like the real reason. We just don't get good press. We need more good pictures of you.
Well, the community knows where it all comes from, so that's the only thing I care about.
Yeah, and the last thing I just want to say, I agree with Wasim. I like when you guys just roll things out without announcing them. It's just way better. It's just like it's a surprise. It's like just a birthday surprise. Somebody bringing you something, and it's just an exciting thing to get.
I agree. Thanks for coming up, Mr. Cartmill. Alex, we're at the top of the hour. Do you want to have some closing thoughts?
Yep. So again, thanks to the team. We have a lot of Celsians on this call today. both employees and community members. I think it was, promised you a surprise for Tuesday. So for those who understand what this means, I think several people kind of mentioned that this is bigger than what most people understand. But we'll let it. It's like people need to absorb what this means, what the ramification, what can you do with it, and just track all these transactions. You'll see how different people are using these utilities for different purposes, and you can develop new ones yourself. And again, we're looking to add more partners and more capabilities. So this is a team effort. So if you have any ideas or suggestions on how to do this best, again, plenty of capable people on this call that can actually make it work, make it happen. And we do have another. We tweeted the Thursday event, right? Is that out already?
That's correct. Yeah. There's a Thursday event that's being hosted on the QuickSwap Twitter. That will have Alex from our Alex and Carl from Celsius, and then Ron from the QuickSwap team, and then Sandeep from the Polygon team.
Yeah, so we'll be getting into more technical stuff over there. If you want to join us and dig deeper into how this stuff works and what did we use and why did we implement it this way and not that way. Again, difference between using native versus non-native. Maybe questions about Chainlink, other things. So all that stuff, we'll cover that on Thursday. So if you want to join us, the link is on the CelsiusX and Celsius Network Twitter handle. And thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Have a good night, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. As you know, we work very hard to keep these rooms going for you guys, so make sure you're following myself, Zach, Scott, CelsiusX, and Wasim as we guide you through this every single week. Hope you guys got something out of this. We will catch you on the next one. Have a good night.